What is going on, people? Welcome to Throwdown Your Questions, episode 273. I'm your host, Tony Polanco, and I'm joined by Chris Seeley, Carlos Romero, Adam Vale, and Brian Manjoma. Oh, guess what? I'm going to do the intro again because I forgot to unmute you guys. My bad. Oh, anyway, what is going on, people? Welcome to Throwdown Your Questions, episode 273. I'm your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I'm joined by Chris Seeley.
Hey, what's up, everyone?
Carlos Romero.
What up, humans?
Adam Vale.
What are you wearing?
Yo,
That's a throwback to my boy. You know who you are, Creepo.
And Mr. Brian Manjoma.
Hey guys, how you doing?
All right, man, we're back with another one. Sorry if we're a little late tonight for you live guys. A little bit of a technical difficulty. Literally 5 minutes before I was about to start, right? My fucking mic stand just falls over. Boom, boom, all this shit just clattered everywhere. Now check this out. The way I have my mic stand set up, it's kind of set up like a clamp at the end of my desk, right? Apparently, over the years, it's slowly kept moving, and it just finally toppled over and shit. So I mean, I put it back, everything's fine, no problems there. I had to realize that it would just slowly move like that, you know.
That's why I got rid of it. Remember, I used to have the stand. I said, "Fuck the clamp," and then I just have the mic on the table because it kept shifting over and then bending, and my table's getting damaged from it.
Yeah, again, I had no idea because I've had this mic for fucking, this mic stand specifically, or
since
mic
the
arm.
70s. I know.
Yeah, right.
You know,
I had this before I was born. It's like that,
yeah, exactly.
bro.
It was just there in your house. It was like,
somehow,
you're gonna need this when you get older. Like what?
So yeah, everything's good on that end. So let's see, Brett will show up when he shows up. You know how Brett goes. And Manny, he's still in Chi-Town. So I hope you guys got to see him over at C2E2 if you were in Chicago. And he seemed like he had a lot of fun. As is the case with Manny, he had a lot of usually he has Metal Gear people come to his table. This time it was Death Stranding people coming to his table. So like he had a lot of Sam Porter Bridges guys, like cosplay with the baby and all that shit.
My gosh!
Yeah, like they were visitors because they know who Manny is from Twitter. So that's pretty cool that he enjoyed himself. And I don't know how cold it was in Chicago. It didn't seem like it was that crazy this year.
No. So, I was watching a game that was happening downtown. It was alright. It's not
crazy. Yo, I need to fucking shave, man. I haven't shaved in a while. Anyway, we got some questions tonight, as we usually do on this show, called Throwdown Your Questions. So let's get right into it, man. And do we have the graphics? Oh God, yes, we do have the graphics. All right, first. Oh shit, hold on. We got Brett in the house.
Hi, folks.
Brett, I didn't even ask the first question, man. Perfect timing, sir.
Dude, that's how you be late correctly. You just sneak in subtly right before shit gets important.
That's how it is, man. Anyway, so first question is from the Reaction King GIF. Or Reaction King GIF. Just fucking Goose. It's Goose. So his question is, could a service like Xbox Game Pass devalue video games, and if so, what could the effects be? This question was inspired by the Business Insider article that came out this past week. We've briefly talked about this on the show, but now we could actually kind of delve more into it. Do you guys think that Xbox Game Pass devalues games? Adam, I'll start with you. Actually, you already started talking, so go ahead.
Yeah. Because I could see where people would think that, because we see the trends with music and books and other. Whenever there's a service, everyone jumps on the service and it's like, damn, why even bother buying the actual game or the actual content? But I don't think that's going to be the case in this, because I think a lot of people still want to own copies of their games, whether physical or digital. And remember, these games don't stay forever on these services. They tell you, it's like, hey, unless it's first party, a lot of them are all timed. I get notifications all the time. Well, not all the time, but every month, whenever new games come, is also another notification follows. Like, hey, by the way, the following games are going to be removed from service. So get your game on, or you can purchase it and you'll get a 20% discount. So, and until we get to that point, because right now, like, let's say there's a lot of content on Netflix, right? And then you see people get all heated when something gets removed. I'm like, oh, I was watching the series and the whole shit just up and left. What if they gave them an option? Say, hey, before it leaves, you can buy the remaining episodes or the whole thing at a discount price. I think a lot of people would probably do it. They're like, oh shit, okay, yeah, why not? You know what? I'm going to keep watching this. It has replay value. I'll purchase it from there. So I don't think it's going to hurt. I don't think it's gonna hurt because of that factor. If it was there permanent, if all the stuff, then yeah, because then people are like, shit, I'll just get the service and never have to worry about ever playing it again. It's always there. That's not the case though. These things aren't always there. So,
yeah.
I mean, it is on PlayStation.
What do you mean on PlayStation?
Like the PlayStation Plus games that you get, as the
No, those are Plus games, but you're paying as long as you have the sub. If you don't pay for that sub, they're gone.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
with the Plus service though, that's not things come and go. They're talking about those sub services.
He's talking about Game
Yeah,
Pass.
yeah. Well, I'm stating that there is a world which you can kind of leave the content on. They're already practicing a lot of the things that you're talking about in pieces and separately. So I think it's just about tying all that together. Like
EA Access. EA Access also gives you the option to buy the game. So if you are part of that service, you've been playing it, and it's like, hey, by the way, we have a sale. It's on sale. Plus, we'll give you another 25% off if you buy it because you're an Access member. So they're trying to still get that. But yeah, I don't think it's going to die out. I don't think it's going to, not like what happened with the music industry.
Yeah, well, I mean, you could kind of ask this thing about any media that's now gone digital, right? Like, does it devalue music? Does it devalue movies? And I'm gonna, just to kind of play. Now, I'm not really playing devil advocate because I'm not gonna say I believe this, but I see this side. I do think Manny firmly believes this. By the way, he believes it does devalue this shit, right?
Because, it 100% does.
Yeah.
How can you say that it doesn't?
Yeah. Well, Adam says it doesn't.
No. I was saying that if it was going to replace, it wasn't devaluing, but if it was going to replace the idea of people buying and just say,
well, that wasn't the question,
Oh, then there you go. I answered a different question.
Brett, go ahead, because it sounds like you and I are. Oh, go ahead, Brian.
Okay, Brett, can you explain how it does devalue?
Yeah, because Brett, I think you and I might be on the same page here. Go ahead, bro.
It's done the exact same thing with movies and video games and music. It doesn't start by initially driving the value down, but it does drive the demand down. And supply and demand are what officially dictate price. Sure, we still get DVDs that release on Blu-ray at $25, but they don't stay that way. They don't stay that way very long, and they usually end up in the bargain bin. And they're not the big ticket sellers. DVD sales are not where these people are making their money. So it's really okay if they don't push that any DVD sales. They're really worried about pushing that shit digitally. So yes and no. Will you still pay for $80 for a box set of Dragon Ball Z in today's day and age? No, you won't, because you can either get it on some streaming service, you can pay $12 for it and see it anytime you want, or you can find a digital copy of it online somewhere. But people have replaced this idea of, I need to have this in my house so I always know where it is, to it'll always be there. And that's not necessarily true, but you don't need to have a box set of The Office in your house, because The Office is on Netflix and it will always remain there. And then if it doesn't, you flip your shit, but you still feel like you have access to it. It's just not directly in your possession. So I would say, in theory, you would sit down and be like, no, for all of these reasons, but then you look in practice at every other form of media, and you can't help but see that individually it's been devalued piece by piece.
But they sell them for the same price at digital. When you see these movies that come out, they're still at that price, $24, $25 digital, most of the time 2 or 3 weeks before the DVD or Blu-ray. So they're still getting it. It's not like, it's $10 if you get digital as opposed to 25 DVD or Blu-ray. It's the same price.
And music is the same way. Like, an album is still, $10, $15 depending on what it is, but most of the time you're just going to say, fuck that, and go to Spotify. So you're going to sell less. So I guess they're not going to let the price drop, but that's not indicative of loss of value in my opinion. It's the same way, like, we got digital games. Like, the way these companies work is we pay an SKU, and they will continue to charge us that SKU until the end of fucking time, until it becomes obsolete. They may sell less and less copies, but they don't care, because this is what they've set it in the market it's worth. But they're not selling. Nobody buys DVDs anymore. Most people don't buy digital versions of music. Most of the time they get their, most people go through things like Spotify or Pandora or something like that. So musicians, other than touring, are going to, really they're hoping that they get their song played on Spotify, the most. It's become a service.
Yeah.
So it's devalued it in terms of quantity, not necessarily market price. And I guess you could argue that is technically value, but I just think that's the same way. Even if a video game could cost less than $60, they're not going to charge less than $60 for it because they know that the shelf value of a video game is $60. Fuck you, consumer. But that's going to sell less copies. That's going to make them less money, and that's going to inherently devalue the product, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm kind of, obviously we're using the technical actual term of devaluing. It was like, hey, the value is not there anymore, in terms of money. I'm kind of looking at it from devaluing to the, in terms of what it means to you, the person, right? Let's just be honest, right? Like, it's great to listen to shit on Spotify, but having that album accessible to me digitally like that, doesn't hold as much value to me as it did when I had an actual physical CD I could hold, shuffle through the linear notes and all that other shit. Same thing with games. Games aren't as valuable in that sense to me anymore because they're kind of digital. Granted, digital is very convenient. I do prefer to play my games that way, but they do not mean as much to me as they did when I had a physical copy. So I do see how, having your games just carte blanche available to you whenever you want, that's kind of devaluing, not the service that's giving it to you, but the actual games that are there because you are no longer going out of your way to get that game or music or movie or whatever like you used to. So that's why I believe these services do devalue these things. But at the same time, they do open it up to a larger audience, right? And here's the point I wanted to kind of make. With a game like Gears of War, right, we saw how it actually physically devalued the game. The game was one of the worst selling Gears of War games out there, right? So in that sense, it hurt the games. But what if you have something smaller like Ark, right? That being on a service like that will actually add value to it because not as much people would be exposed to it if it wasn't on there. So it's kind of a weird give and take depending on the type of game. Let me
ask you a question, Tony.
Yeah.
Would you pay $60 for a game that you just saw for free on PlayStation Plus?
Absolutely not.
You see what you said about that it hurt you, but yeah. it helped. It helped Microsoft.
No,
they saw a jump in the Game Pass subs when that game was released. So we could say, oh, well, no one bought it. Of course not. They went to the sub route, and that's what Microsoft's goal was, the $1 sub. They wanted you to play Gears.
I'm not disagreeing with you. It did help Xbox Game Pass, but it didn't help Gears of War 5 individually. That's what I'm trying to get at.
There is no individual. That's what I'm saying.
Well, yeah, that's where the devalue comes
to get them in. That was it. It's still a quality game.
Well, but that's still answering it the wrong way. Like, Adam, you're still answering it in terms of the value of the brand and the value of the franchise and all that. And that is increased by making games as a service. That's where the balance comes from. And that's the reason that I think that they're doing it. But that physical disc, will anybody argue with me that if there's a game on Game Pass, or, the easiest one that we've all run into, in my opinion, is if you just saw a game on PlayStation Plus for free, even if it was last month and it's not available today, right? And then you're walking through Walmart, Target, wherever you fucking go, and you look over and you see that thing on the shelf for $60, and you're like, oh man, I just missed this on Game Pass. That's a game I really want to play. I guarantee you the next thought you're going to think, though, is, but that shit was just on Game Pass. That's not a $60 game.
No, I stopped buying physical a long time ago.
Yeah, Chris, what's your take, bro?
I would never do it.
Yeah, Chris, go ahead, Ben.
I kind of agree with Brett's take there. I mean, there's games I picked up on PS Plus for free. I was thinking about buying and waiting for sales and whatever, and then it's just free, and I'm like, I get it now. And that does put in people's minds like, what is this game worth to me, right? Yeah. Do I want to pay $60 for it? But then again, you'll have bigger studios, like bigger AAA studios, like would Rockstar ever drop a game on Game Pass? When they're selling millions and millions of copies, like you may have to buy their games, and you may have to buy like a Souls game.
I mean, like a day one? Would they ever release day one?
Not even day one,
because Grand Theft Auto 5 is on Game Pass.
Which one?
Grand Theft Auto 5 is on Game Pass.
Yeah, but that's like what after.
That's what I'm saying.
It's like mad old right now. Yeah.
So you're talking about day one. Then you're saying would they ever drop it? Because that's the only time it would really matter. If let's say Grand Theft Auto 6 was to come out and said, "Hey, you could buy physical, or you can get the game on Game Pass."
I don't think they'd put it on Game Pass even like in the first 3 to 6 months of it launching. They would count on the sales, because they know exactly what Brett was arguing. They would just go, "No, this game is like." Offer the disc, offer the same price digitally, offer a deluxe edition and the collector's edition, whatever, and they make all their money, and then after a year, they're like, okay, then you can put on.
By the
Game
way,
Pass, discount it.
the whole devaluing thing is something even Sony said. They said they wouldn't put their games on a service like that because they don't want to devalue their games. Even Sony said it. You know.
All right, well, no one's doing them better than Nintendo. They never put that shit.
They never do the Nintendo.
Well, they
tax.
don't
Never drop
discount
their
it.
price.
Yeah, the Nintendo tax.
Never.
Shot, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll do everybody else's game except their shit.
Carlos, what's your take, bro?
Yeah, I pretty much agree with everyone except Adam.
Oh shit!
But what is it I disagree? I don't understand what you think my point is.
I thought you said that you don't think it devalues the game.
No, that's not what I said.
Oh, then I misunderstood. So I guess I just disagree. I don't disagree with anyone.
I thought that's what Adam was saying too.
No.
Okay. So,
No, it's fine. It's fine.
We're coming at it from different angles, so I don't think anybody is kind of wrong on this one because you're right. But because it definitely ups the value of Game Pass, but I still believe it devalues the value of certain games. You know?
Yeah, it definitely devalues the individual titles.
Yes,
but it doesn't devalue sort of the system, the service.
No one's talking about that though. You know,
yeah.
I don't think anyone's going to say devalues the service. It serves the service, you know.
But it's one of those things of everything goes on sale eventually. Everything, clothes, you name it, cards, everything goes on sale. So
it's a Nintendo product.
It goes on sale. It never gets
for $52.
They'll do it, or lately like $41. They'll do it but it'll just come right back up. It never just drops. It's like, hey, there's a permanent price.
Yeah,
but it's people just. It depends on how important it is to you. So devalue saying, "Oh, I can't believe they dropped it this price." Well, maybe you don't give a shit, But as opposed to somebody else, if it comes out day one, that's what they want. Whether it's that outfit, that car, that game, whatever, then it's worth every penny.
Well, I was talking more of sort of a monetary sense because it doesn't matter how popular a video game is on a service. It still won't command as much power as, for example, a Mario or a Zelda would. For example, because those titles will sell so much and garner so much money for the company that it's fucking crazy. But a game like, I don't know, Crackdown 3 might still be popular, but and it could be even more popular on the service, but it's still not going to garner enough monetary revenue as some of the other big titles. So in that way, that's why I'm saying it's kind of devalued. Because it doesn't have a chance to sort of prove itself on the open market.
But then, think of when for PC, right? PC gaming died for retail boxes years ago, probably a decade ago, because it's always been just, even when you did buy a box, it was just a code. Mm-hmm. It was nothing physical. And it seemed to have worked out, even though a lot of people, and myself included, was like, shit, Steam is doing these crazy sales. How are these publishers even making money when you're seeing these huge cuts? Because within the first month, you'll see a game on sale for like $30, $40 as opposed to $60. That was drastic. But that was the case, and then eventually it carried over. So it all depends on what you're willing to pay. If you feel it's worth $60, then you pay the $60 regardless.
Well, let me get this straight. So what you're saying is when computers launched gaming as a service, it devalued the games from generally $60 to about $30 to $40, and games on Steam generally sell for cheaper because they have these crazy discounts.
No, I'm saying that when publishers decided that they were willing to go the route of putting their game digital and not having a physical, they made that choice.
Yes, but then they lowered the price of the video game or the game, and they sold more.
They sold more, and they sold it for whatever price they felt. So if anyone devalued, it was the publishers, because we saw in Nintendo, they don't have to do that, and they chose to do it.
Only Nintendo doesn't have to do that. In Steam, you have to do that.
No, well, why do you have to do it? Because that's expected now. It wasn't always the case. When Steam first launched, that wasn't the case. It was just a place to get PC games. And then all of a sudden they started having these massive sales. I'm like, what the hell?
And that's where Steam took off. Steam wasn't successful until it accepted the fact that being a service the way that it is, or a semi-service, devalued individual titles. And so they had these crazy Steam sales where they offered games for less money. They're at a discount. That's the same as being like, oh, this designer sweater used to be $100, but this year it's only $50. Yes, because it devalued over the course of the year, and now it's on sale. That sale is a mark of something being devalued. You're not going to have something.
If it's Brett's games, it's your games. They still have to contact you and say, "Hey, are you okay? We are going to put your games on sale."
That doesn't have anything to do with devalue. As an artist, if
I say no, go ahead, put everybody else's shit on sale. My shit is still $59.99.
You don't determine the value of your product,
it's
though.
Fine.
No, you don't.
Yeah,
that's not how economics work.
You see publishers pulling their games all the time from them.
You can make your own stuff all the time, but that's not how economics work.
It doesn't matter how economics works. It matters on how this works. Their system, their model.
We're talking about economics right now.
We're talking about what has value.
Yes,
we're talking about economics. We're not talking about feelings.
Yeah,
I have no feelings.
No. You're saying that the publisher gets to determine the price, and that determines the market value of the game. And I'm saying it's the other way around. There is a market value of the game that is generalized in people's mind. People are like, I'm willing to pay $30-$40, and the publisher has to hit that mark in order to move more copies, and thus they do by having sales, because the market value of that game has decreased.
So you're saying people automatically assume that they have to pay $15.99 for a game? That should be the price?
Yeah,
no, they do.
No.
Yeah, by the way, just quickly, Brett, and just remember that. You hear from gamers all the time. They're like, this game's $40. This can't be as good as a $60 when people do that themselves already. Go ahead, Brett.
Yeah. Well, and the same thing. You look at a game and you're like, I'm not paying $60 for that game. That game's worth $40. Like that's the value in the mind of the consumer, and that general value in the mind of all the consumers is what creates value.
Yeah.
The same with any kind of collectible. It's the more somebody wants something and the less there are of them, that makes the people who want them say, okay, well, even though this My Little Pony figure is only worth $5, it's worth $500 to me. And that the next guy says that, and the next guy says that, and the next guy says that, and then everybody in the fucking room says that, and then it turns out that market value for that My Little fucking Pony is $500 because that's what everybody's willing to pay. It has nothing to do with who makes those things? Fucking Hasbro? It has nothing to do with what Hasbro says it is worth.
But we already talked about that $59.99 shouldn't be the standard price for all these games. We've talked about that. When we see certain games come on, it's like, yo, that game is not $59.99. That's a low budget game, and they had the nerve to sell it for $59.99. We've talked about this.
Yeah, and
so it's not. It shouldn't be the standard.
But it is though, because that's what.
But the market, it is.
Yeah, that's just how it is.
And a game that you see for $60 that then goes on a service. In most people's minds, then it's not worth $60 anymore. You saw it happen all the time when they were talking about these games are launching on Xbox's gaming service at the same time the game is being released. How many people said, why would I buy the game then? Why wouldn't I just play it on the service? Take Sea of Thieves, for instance. Most people didn't think Sea of Thieves was worth $60, and I'm not even talking about the quality of the game, but to them, they're like, I'll get a month of play out of this. It's on the streaming service. I can rent the streaming service for about $15 a month, give or take, and so I can get the whole game played in a month, get everything I want out of the game. To me, this gaming experience is worth $15. Whereas if it wasn't on a streaming service, they maybe even said it's not worth $60, but I'd pay $30 for it. They wait for it to go on sale. They go to Target. They pay $30 for it. In one scenario, you have them paying $15. In another, you have them paying $30. That is the definition of devalue.
But that's not devalue because the publisher chose that. Microsoft, that was the plan all along. They didn't say, wow, this game is going to suck ass. Let's just throw it on the service. No, that was to lure the people into the service. Hey, this Sea of Thieves game, guess what? You want to play it? You can play it for $1. They did it on purpose.
To me.
They did it on purpose. Auction, it's the same. Auction is all up to whatever you feel it's worth. So if they start at $5 and you bid $10, okay, it's worth $10 to you. Jimmy over there won 15, he went 15, 20, until it stops. Right now, so people were saying if it says $1, value is for the service. So then Microsoft shouldn't have charged $1 for it. They should have said, "Hey, this service is $9.99 right off the bat." There is no $1.
Hold on. Let me just reduce it to this: is value either A, what the person or entity creating the product says it's worth, or is it B, what the people buying the product say it's worth and are willing to pay? Is it A or B?
People. B.
It's what the people say. Okay.
It's what
so
the people
if the people see a game on a streaming service and decide that they don't think it's worth $60, they're only going to pay the $15 for it, and all of them buy the game or play the game for only $15, in their mind, the game has been devalued. It doesn't matter what
how many people play that game.
It doesn't matter what the publisher says.
If a large majority of people play a game more than what they would have sold at that high price, then it does work out in their favor.
Okay, but you're talking about the franchise and the IP.
They don't have a franchise. It's just one game.
Okay, but you're talking about we're talking about the value of individual copies of the game, not the value of how much is Grand Theft Auto worth as an entity. We're not talking about that. We're not talking about the business or the large end. We're talking about if I have a disc of a game in front of me and somebody says, hey, this is on Microsoft's service, is my disc still now worth $60?
It is if you consider it $60 because you paid $60, and if you bring it in to trade in, how much are they going to give you for? What, like 35?
Not $60. That's my point.
They won't give you.
They're not going to give you $60
because it's used. It's like that with anything, though. You bring in a car, an hour after you had it, it's still lowered in price.
Okay. I bet you we can nail this down.
Yeah, and last thing, because we got more questions tonight, guys.
No, that's fine. I'd like to see GameStop's trade-in prices compared to, and I don't know if there's any way to pull up this metric, but I virtually guarantee you, GameStop drops the trade-in value of any game that was just on PlayStation Plus because it was just on PlayStation Plus for free, so they're not going to give you the same amount for it.
No, because we've seen that before, and that has been an argument when people go in the store asking for their money. And they're like, no, it's not that, because now they charge it as, hey, this is physical. Just like how Tony said, hey, you could touch this. This has a manual. This has this and that. No. So it's different. So they don't do that. That's how come they charge such a high markup for their games, for their used games. Their used games aren't cheap. If that was the case, all their used games would be cheap. It's not. Because of that.
Essentially, the value of something in the market is how much somebody's willing to pay you for it. How do you get a better metric of that than when you turn in a used video game? How much they're willing to pay you. And if that amount drops directly after the game is on a service, then that should tell you.
It'll drop 5 minutes after you open a package. It doesn't matter, service or not. It's now considered used.
Okay, but it's supply and demand, man.
It doesn't matter, supply and demand. It's physical and digital. We've already talked about this. We've talked about the pricing of these things.
Is anybody else going to have an opinion on this?
No, I'm not. I'm moving on because I'm already getting bored. I'm already getting bored. We got more shit to talk about, man.
I just have like a different understanding of devalue, because I see devalue more in the sense of how much value does it have to the person that's playing it.
That's how I see it. Yeah,
that's it.
So to me, I don't think that games on a service will devalue anything, because having access to that many games, you're more likely to try things because you just can, and it's there. So hence you're more likely to get value out of something that you never thought you would have bought in the first place. I'm pretty sure there's like hundreds of people that have tried a game on Game Pass purely because, hey, it's on Game Pass, I'm bored, let's give it a go, and then they like it. So
that was the case with Outer
Worlds. It increases the value of the brand.
Yeah, it does for sure.
It's like they are playing something that they would never have bought because of the price. But then now, because there's no price attached to it, they have access to it. Then they say, okay, cool, I bought it, I like it, that's good. Then also you get the case of, okay, I bought it, I played on Game Pass, I liked it, that's good. Or I played on Game Pass, I didn't like it, no love lost. But Microsoft still has Microsoft still paid them, so hence the publisher or the game company doesn't seem to lose out in that case. And I don't see where the devaluing comes into it from the player standpoint.
Yeah. All right, I'm moving on. All right, next up we got Christina, who asked us, do you find long in-game loading times distracting? For example, when fast traveling or before and after cutscenes, do you end up doing something else during really long cutscenes? Oh man, especially these days with these long-ass games, man. Chris, I'm gonna start with you first, man. Do you find those long ass loading screens distracting?
Well, it depends. Like some games fast travel quickly and some slowly. Division 2 is all over the place. Sometimes you'll fast travel and it takes like a minute or two, and I guess it depends on the server. And sometimes you're just sitting there and I'm like, oh, when's this fucking thing gonna go to 100%? You know, you get annoyed, but I don't leave because it's a service game, so I don't want to get shot or something. There's other games that had really, I think, really ridiculous loading times. Remember Metal Gear Solid 4?
Oh my
Go
god, yo, that was like 15
That was like
minutes.
I could take a nap, you know, right? Shit.
No,
I'd leave.
No, dude, the game literally says go make a sandwich. It literally says that.
No.
That had to be the worst loading I ever saw.
And for you guys who don't remember, Metal Gear Solid 4, like when it was loading between chapters, it would take 15, 20 minutes, man. The game was like, yo, go outside. They said this. Go outside, make a sandwich.
Well, you had to install it, and all you were seeing is fucking Solid Snake smoking a cigarette.
Just smoking for 15, 20 minutes, you know?
I think the worst is when you can't skip a cutscene or something that you've already seen over and over again. It's like, let's say you die in a certain part and it restarts that chapter, and it's a long cutscene and you can't skip it. So yeah, just put the controller down, walk away, do something.
Yeah. And my thing is like when it comes to I mean, actually, you know what? I'll ask this like it's a little bit of a tangent, but that's what we do on Throwdown. You know, Brett, what about you? Do you get distracted? You know, during these long ass load scenes?
No, I get infuriated.
Okay, it's even worse.
You're just sitting there like, fucking come on! Because the goddamn load bar, it tricks you because it's like, oh, you know, I'm gonna load at like, you know, to 100%. You're like, oh, it's basically time or, you know, maybe data or something like that. But really, it is no measure. That bar is no metric to how long the actual loading is going to fucking take, because it'll speed through the first 3/4 and then just sit there at 80% for like 5 goddamn minutes while you tear your hair out. That's the thing. It infuriates me. I was like, at least just give me a vague timer, like, you know, hey, we'll be ready in 20 seconds, so I can go make some popcorn or get a drink or take a piss or something like that. But no, it just got to, you know, and you know, it never fucking loads smoothly at all. So I just end up sitting in front of my TV in a state of perpetual anticipation, being perpetually like every moment's like, oh.
Yo, watch those noises, bro. Shit.
Sorry. You guys don't see me on video. Like, those are disappointing.
Oh, we don't need to see that shit.
Yo, this is a family show, man. Shit. You know. But no, Brett, my personal favorite is when it gets to 100 and just stays there for like 2 minutes. Like, you're at 100. You're at 100. Fucking.
You find yourself yelling at the screen. You're loaded. You're loaded. Just do it.
You never had Tony or Chris when you're playing Division when it goes to load for 100 and then it drops down to like 20?
It's like what? Backwards. So like, oh shit. It's like, hold you sucker.
Gotcha.
That reminds me of like a Simpsons episode. It's like Homer's waiting for the time to finish. No, it's Bart. He's in school. It's a long day. He's waiting for the time to finish. You know, the clock is slowly ticking, and then it starts ticking backwards. It's like, what the fuck? Like, you're not supposed to do that. It goes against the laws of physics, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, here's my thing, right? Like, will we ever see an end or at least a severe drop in load like screens? Because think about it, we've had to deal with loading ever since CDs came around, and you figure like, you know, hey, now games are digital. We have to worry about this shit more, but we still got to deal with it because of hard drives and all this nonsense. So is there any? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So is that are SSDs like the like the main like thing that'll save us from this purgatory?
Well, and then there'll be
that and caching.
after that.
That and caching.
Yeah,
a lot of caching.
The fucking Go ahead, Brian. Go ahead, bro.
Since I'm on a PC and our tech is generally like 10 years ahead of console guys.
Yeah, wave it around, Brian. Wave it around. Wave it around.
Like, come on, like SSDs have been a thing for years on end.
Yeah,
like, it's
dude, you're in the future
now.
And they're still expensive. That's the shit I don't understand. They've been around for so long. You would think the price would have dropped by now.
Yeah, they have dropped, but they're like stupidly expensive. Like, it's only now they've become like an actual reasonable price. But even then, yeah, SSDs will like change your world. Like, oh my gosh, like my PC now starts in like 8 seconds. Like, I get scared. Like, sometimes I'm like, did I turn it on or did I not turn it on because I can't tell anymore. Like, there are times where like I restarted and it's like, did it turn off or did it not turn off? I don't know. Like, when did it happen?
Yo, Brian, real talk. That's me too, son. When my PC, when I reset it, it's like, oh shit, it's already here. It's ready. That's it.
No, I don't have a solid drive. I have to wait. But I got a question. Yeah. Brian, 10 years in the future, how is Star Citizen, or is it still not out yet?
It's on Switch.
Oh,
it's like that, bro.
Yeah, SSDs will definitely help, and the loading thing, I think it depends when it happens. Because I'm fine with games that have like like a mass load, like on first launch, like 5 minutes load, like first launch, and then like each time you die, it's like 5 seconds launch. Like that's fine. Like I don't mind that at all. But when it's like Bloodborne, where it's like takes like a minute to like respawn, it's like, why am I doing this anymore?
Yeah.
I spend more time on loading screens than actually playing the game because I'm dead. Like so it just depends when it does happen. And SSDs, they will help so much because dear lord, wow.
Yo, by the way, I'm forgetting what game it was, but there was one game I played this generation where I felt like I've been in loading screens more than I have been actually playing this fucking game. You know, it's like they take forever, man. And do I get distracted? Yes, because you know what happens during long loading screens, right? I go on Twitter. I start going to Twitter, start bullshitting around, and then the game starts, and I'm like, but I'm still fucking around on Twitter right now. You know? It's nuts, man. So yeah, definitely for me, it does distract me. I will say I did appreciate. This is gonna sound weird. I did appreciate Final Fantasy 15 because when you get into the car drives itself, right? So I could like look at Twitter, but still have the game running at the same time.
Yeah, and they have a conversation going on.
They have conversations going on, exactly. And you know when the car's about to stop and everything. Yeah. Like, okay, that's not too bad. But yeah, like when you play something like Assassin's Creed, you're just in that kind of weird like digital world. It's like, yo, how long am I going to be here, bro? This is crazy right now. You know, it's like I'm about to take a nap after I eat a sandwich, you know? Preferably a pastrami one with cheese, you know, on a roll. Anyway, who else, man? Who didn't go?
Yeah, I when every time I play Monster Hunter, the loading screens and the cutscenes for me are like filler, so I just I mess around and do some other shit because I just can't stay looking at a screen that's not doing anything other than like loading.
Yeah, I guess
just never get rid of them.
I like it when games give you a mini game or something to do while you're waiting and shit.
That's one of the things I liked about EA with their sport games, like FIFA and stuff like that. It takes a while to load and shit because of the environment. But at least they give you a mini game. You're like playing on the field, learn some tricks, shoot at the goal. Gives you something to do.
Yeah, I also don't mind it. I know some people don't like this, but I kind of like it when some games give you lore in between and shit. So if it's like an RPG or something, I kind of appreciate reading a little bit of the lore. And then sometimes, like, they tell you how the controls work. That could get stupid sometimes, but at the same time, you may be like, oh shit, I didn't know you could do that, and then you try it out. So I think there's also a way of doing load screens better, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, just put SSDs and get rid of this shit, Oh, by the way,
no, you're not going to get rid of it.
I mean, okay, minimize it, because you're not going to get rid of it. By the way, Carlos, your other favorite game to play during Monster Hunter load screens is yelling at me because my shit already loaded before yours because I got an SSD at my PS4.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
Crazy.
And you don't even have a full on SSD. It's the hybrid.
Yes, a hybrid. So
yeah, I have a hybrid one too,
and it's still butter.
And Brian, he has zero world problems because he doesn't have he just doesn't have a normal SSD, the 2.5 drive one. He has that M2 one, which is even faster.
That shit glows.
Yeah, that's plug it in like straight into the motherboard. It's like it's like having drugs like injected straight into your vein.
Damn, taking it there.
Literally just like push the tree in there. Like that's how hardcore it is.
Yo.
Yeah. I can't wait till SSD consoles come out because. My gosh, it's gonna be so good.
When it hits the lips, it's so good. What's up,
Brian? This is breaking news.
What's up?
You're gonna get a console?
Oh, word!
Yeah, we already talked about this.
Yeah, he's gonna get it. Yeah.
Especially now, since I'm hearing the rumor that Sony might release the PS5 Pro the same time as PS5.
I heard that rumor. I don't believe that shit, man.
I don't believe it, but I'm waiting and watching now.
Interesting.
If they do, then
watch them do exactly what I said Microsoft was going to do.
We just launched 2 systems at once. That would, man. But Brian, you're definitely not going to get an Xbox One X. You already have some better. Your PC.
Yeah, I have an Xbox One X too, so I'm good.
Oh, no, he has the Xbox Series X. If you go by the naming, you know what I'm saying? If you go by the because Xbox One X, right? That's the super version. So the Xbox Series X. Microsoft is bad at naming shit, man.
Yeah, fuck, man. Yeah, hell yeah.
The double X,
Triple
X firmly. Oh, wait, wrong franchise. All right, man, let's move on here to You Should Know Me. Okay, I get, talk to me, man. I'll get to know you. So his first question is, how much is too much to purchase next-gen games or controllers? That's a good question. I don't think the price of games is going to go up next generation. I still think it's going to be. Who the fuck is making all that noise?
Adam.
What noise?
He's playing a video game, right?
You see me. What am I doing?
But I hear you, motherfucker.
Doing what?
Well, okay. I love the fact when somebody makes a noise, like they never.
But you can see me. I could have said if you didn't see me.
I don't know what your hands are doing.
Oh yeah, but that's under the table.
But I can still hear it, bro.
You can hear the joystick when you're like.
Really?
Whoa. Okay, for our audio listeners.
Demonetized.
I just realized what we're saying here. Watch it when you're putting your joystick, bro.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if your hands are under the table or not.
Oh my god. What the fuck are we even talking about anymore, man? I forgot the question.
What's going on, man?
Oh yeah. How
He
much?
said if you need to know him or something like that.
Yeah.
Get to know him.
How much is too much to ask for when it comes to next gen games and controllers? Oh yeah. So next gen games are going to cost $60, just like always, and controllers they're going to cost the same, between $60 and $70 for the regular versions. For the elite versions, who the fuck knows? But I don't see games going up in price. But I will say this though, and
Is 70 already a price hike?
It is actually, but I'm talking about for controllers. Games are going to be 60. Games are.
Well, no, but for controllers, $70, and I agree with you. Don't get me wrong. I agree that controllers will probably be $70, but that is a price hike, isn't it?
Is it? Because I thought normal controllers were already $70. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, I think.
No.
Yeah, they're 60.
If they're 60, then negate
Like
what I said about
premium controllers are 70, and for some reason, I think Nintendo's controller is 70.
Oh, Brett, that's what it was. The fucking the Pro controller I bought. That's the last controller I bought. That's 70. Okay. So whatever. So it's $60 across the board. But, and I've said this before. Actually, we've said this before, right? Even though games sticker price costs $60, they don't actually cost you $60 anymore, right? You got the expansions, you got DLC, you got all this other shit. Games actually cost you more. That's how they get you, because they know. They know that. Yeah, because they know gamers are not going to pay more than $60 for a game, so they get you other ways. So that's what I expect to happen next gen. I don't think pricing is going to remain the same when it comes to controllers and games next generation, But that's also not the real question. How much is too much to ask? Let's try to answer that. How much is too much? Like, what do you think is the cutoff point for the Joe Blow gamer, as it is?
I think it all depends on the person and what they're getting and what they want out of it.
Right.
Like we've seen that with
will dudes pay $70, $80 for The Last of Us 2?
It depends on what it comes with. If it's just a regular game, unless they throw in something else, because they're used to paying a lower price. So you have to give some incentive.
Yeah. So for basically what you're saying is you can't have any kind of quote unquote price hike without an incentive.
Not now. It's too late for it now. Now they just can say, "Hey, it's $70." Why? Because we said so. I don't think they would get away with that.
I think that they can. I think that us old heads kind of assume that everybody has been playing games for as long as we have. There's a lot of people who haven't been around for 2 or 3 console launches. They remember the launch of the PS4. Then before that, they're just kind of like, they really don't have enough information to connect it to. So this idea that, we all know that games should be worth this and gamers will never pay more than this. Us old gamers say that. But some of the 18-year-old gamers, fuck, dude, this shit was 11 when they came out. You think they had an issue, standing in line and being a whole new generation of adult gamers has blossomed, and they're going to buy a lot of games. And here's the sad part: us old heads, we get fewer and fewer every year. People have families; they stop playing as many video games. They're not as big a part of the market share. 18 to 24, that is the biggest consumer group, and every day some of us leave that, and every day some of us come back into it. The 18 to 24 crowd haven't been around for 2 console launches. They don't know any of this shit. They may not give a fuck. So I'm not arguing with anyone. Just remember, our opinion is
they're used to playing $1 then for an app or for a game on a phone.
I want to jump on that because I don't disagree with what you're saying. At least the heart of it, I agree. I actually agree with what you're saying. The heart of it. The thing is, I'm talking about. Those same people are still here now, and they see games cost $60 now. So I don't see the 18 and 24-year-olds willing to pay $70, $80 for games when they're not doing that at this moment. Understand?
No. But let me ask you this: So if I offer you two products, I'm like, I have this thing, and then I have a newer, better version of this thing. Would you expect them to be the same price?
No, I wouldn't. But I'm getting, and I know what you're saying.
No, I get that, but that's what kids these days like. If somebody grew up with somebody who's 18 right now,
Yeah, right
they
now,
look at me like, my PS4 controller is $60. Right now, at the tail end of the generation, it's $60. Why would a newer controller with upgraded hardware and better stuff not cost more?
No, I see what you're saying.
So I would assume, if 18-year-old me would just assume that the next gen console controller probably going to be about $10 more because it's new technology. The same way I don't expect an iPhone 8 to cost the same amount as an iPhone 10.
Yeah, no, 'cause I know what you're saying because they don't know the history and all that. And granted, I'll give you that maybe we are basing this too much on history because games have cost $60 for what 20 years almost. Let's just be honest. Like,
so do you think that if this did happen, let's say, all right, games are going to go up. Do you think they would also do that with the consoles? So they're going to get with a double whammy. Hey, consoles $500-$600, games $70 to $80.
Here's the thing.
I don't think they're going to do it with games. That's the thing, though. I don't think that's going to happen.
That's
why they're changing games to more of a service. They know that they can't do that, but they can leverage the price up on consoles, on controllers, on any kind of hardware.
But Brett,
Nintendo just fucking did it.
Yep.
Brett,
Brian, go ahead.
I find your logic in sense of the controllers to be quite flawed because you're essentially just saying that you expect them to charge more because it's better technology. But over time, technology advances and gets cheaper. So hence,
but it doesn't get cheaper. But it does. That's the problem. No. How much a PlayStation controller, a PlayStation 4 controller now costs the same as when it fucking launched?
I mean, the tech inside of it gets cheaper.
That's
down to how much Sony are charging, but the tech inside of it gets cheaper. That's why consoles cost less, overall, because the price to make them gets less, and hence they fall back in line in that spot again. So I don't expect controllers to be more expensive. I expect them to be the same, because if it's $60 today for a controller, then I expect it to be $60 for the next gen, because again, the tech in that would have gone back down the line to, hey, it's slightly less now because you can make more of it, or it's cheaper to make.
But wouldn't you have expected the old controller to go from 60 to 50? Wouldn't you have expected a price decline with the old technology as it aged into obsolete?
Yes, I would.
But that's not happening.
Yes, because again, you are forgetting that that's how much Sony is charging. There's a difference between how much Sony is charging for their controllers and how much it takes the controller to make. I'm talking about how much it takes the controller to make. Again,
we're talking about what
they want.
We're talking about what Sony pay.
Sorry.
Where the thing here is we're talking about what people will pay, and I think here's my point. Here's all I'm gonna say. Switch Pro controller, $70 all day. Everybody bought it. $10 more than our regular controller. Nobody fucking blinked.
Well, that's because the Joy-Cons were some pieces of shit.
Yeah,
but it doesn't matter. It's the same goddamn controller you get with an Xbox, but people were willing to pay $70 for it. They did not care.
It's also Nintendo too,
Yeah.
But still, y'all act like if they put a $10 price on controllers and all next gen controllers at $70, that people are gonna fucking riot the street.
Nobody said that. Nobody said that. Nobody said
Brett,
that.
You also have to take into account that the same people who are willingly paying $70 for a Wii U Pro, Switch Pro controller, probably wouldn't spend $70 on a Wii U Pro controller.
But here's the other thing. Us people, we're on a fucking podcast about video games. Tony is a gaming journalist. He forgot that controllers used to be $60.
Yeah, I thought it was 70. That's right. Yeah,
but Tony, like you said, Tony's a gaming journalist. He gets 20 controllers every year to review.
Yeah,
and
literally that's the last controller I had to buy myself.
That's the point.
How much for
that's why I said 60-70 because I wasn't 100% sure. It's it's how rich people don't know the price of shit. I don't know the price of gaming peripherals anymore.
I get that, but here's the thing where here's what I don't understand. I'd like somebody to explain to me, if I can show you evidence of you specifically paying more for something that used to cost less, and then the question is, would you be willing to pay some more for something that costs less? And you've done it already. The answer should be written in stone because your actions have spoken for you. You are willing to pay more for a controller because you have.
No, I'm willing to pay more for me not having to play the Joy-Cons. That's a different situation.
No, it's not a different situation.
No, it is. It's a different circumstance, hold on. Bro.
No, it isn't because the question is, how much are you willing to pay for a controller? Period. Full stop. Anything else you put on the back of that question is your interpretation.
Yeah, it is my interpretation. My interpretation is I'm not. Yes, I do. I can do whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah.
Come on, bro.
Not in a rational argument.
Well, fuck rational argument right now, bro. Like, listen, if I'm for Xbox controller and PS4 controller, they cost $60, right? And I know what I'm getting. With a Nintendo, I can either pay $70 or play the Joy-Cons. I'm paying the $70. I'm not playing no fucking Joy-Cons, man.
Exactly.
And you know what? That is rational. Fuck that shit.
If they launched at $70 and that was your only option, you'd pay $70. You had another option and you still paid $70.
Wait, the option was Joy-Con. That's not an option at all, man. Exactly. I had no choice.
That's more option than PlayStation 5 would give you if they just came out with one controller that was $70.
Yeah.
You'd buy that shit.
Yeah, I guess.
You would.
Damn it. Yeah, no, listen, that's a complete different situation, right? But on the PlayStation 5, notwithstanding what I did with the Switch, if the PlayStation 5 controller was $70 and I had no choice, fuck, yeah, I would buy it. But
that's the question.
No, but it's different. It's still different, though. Understand? Like,
no, the question is, how much would you be willing to pay if you're pressed to it? If you had,
me personally, me personally, I paid $70. I have, I have already. But the thing is, I know I'm splitting hairs right now. But again, the Nintendo Switch thing was situational. That was I had no choice because
Tony, let me ask you
let me finish. I had to buy the Switch controller because the Joy-Cons were fucking bullshit, right? With the PlayStation 5, it wouldn't be. I'm paying more for this controller because the normal controller is crappy. That is literally all I have available to me.
Here's why I'm getting frustrated. That's bad debate. It is just straight bad argument. If I asked you the question,
am I the guy that takes debate classes, bro? I argue from the streets. You know that, man. Come on, son. I don't argue that debate shit.
Okay, so that's an excuse to not argue a point.
I made my fucking point, and I think everybody else agrees.
Let me finish. Then.
Yeah.
If I were to ask you, do you have it in you to kill a man? And you said no. And I said, what if he were robbing your house? And you said, well, that's a different circumstance. If he were robbing my house and put me in danger, then of course I'd kill him to protect my family. The answer would be, yes, you have it in you to take a human life. Yes, you have it in you to kill a man. It doesn't matter the circumstance. That's the point of the question. Under any circumstances, under the most dire of circumstances, how much would you be willing to pay?
Yeah, but listen.
I thought
let me finish
with a price increase.
But by the way, Brett, it's obvious I would pay more. I've done it, but I'm just saying for that specific instance, there was a very good reason why I paid $70. You understand?
But that doesn't let you put an asterisk next to your original answer. Your answer is still yes, you would be willing to pay more.
Of course, that was never a question. Of course, I've done it already. I'm just saying there is an asterisk when it comes to fucking Nintendo. Just like everything Nintendo, there's always an asterisk. But it's obvious I would fucking pay $70. I've done it already. And as for your question about killing a man, I am not answering that shit on air. You trying to get me in trouble, motherfucker?
No, I don't expect you to, but we got where I want. I'm sorry, I still sound heated. I just sound like this now. You would pay more.
Of course, I've done it already, bro. Fuck, I've done it already.
That was my question. I thought
you wouldn't want to.
Huh?
You wouldn't be.
It doesn't matter if you want to.
It doesn't matter if I want to. I'll do it. Exactly. Yeah.
Because you don't have to buy any of this shit.
By the way, Brett, I've noticed lately you and I keep arguing over shit we agree on. It's like, what the fuck?
It's because old Brett is coming. For those of you who haven't listened to the podcast in a while, this used to be me all the goddamn time. I used to just be fucking redlining and angry about everything. I used to have a segment called Brett's Soapbox because I would just bitch about stuff.
Brett just wants to bitch right now. He's so thirsty to bitch. He'll complain about or argue with you about shit you both agree
Dude, I'll
on.
fight. No, I'm Irish. I'll just fight you on anything. You just pick a topic. I'll fight you.
Yeah, I think you Irish guys are definitely crazier than us Dominicans. We Dominicans are crazy, but I'm the chill one right now. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, I've done it already. I'm just saying with Nintendo, and you know me, I always got to throw a little shade at Nintendo. You know?
I thought you were saying like, no, I wouldn't. I'm
Of
like,
course I would. I've done it already.
That was my point. I was like, bro, you have. How can you say you wouldn't?
But I wasn't disagreeing with that. I was just saying for Nintendo, just please understand why I did it. You know? Oh
yeah, because
Nintendo.
we had no choice. But I assume in any circumstance you would have no choice. In any circumstance, I'd pay $20 for a fucking controller if I had the goddamn option.
What would you do for a Klondike bar?
A whole lot.
You know?
That is the question of the night.
Yeah. I don't even know what the fucking question. Oh yeah, the games and whatever. Anyway,
Would you be willing to take a price hike in hardware and system sales or system price?
Yeah, if we have no choice, sure, why not? You know. Oh, no. The question, no. That's actually not the question. The question is, what is the cutoff? At what point will people go? No, fuck that. I'm not paying more than that.
That's right. That's how we got to it. Because I was saying $70. That's the cutoff.
I agree. $70, $80. No, that's when I'm like, no one's gonna do that shit. You know?
At that point, go. You can go fuck yourself.
$70 for both. I think that's the cutoff point to answer the question correctly. This is what we do on Throwdown, man. We go around the block a couple of times, then we answer the question eventually. If we answer
gotta take the scenic route. Sometimes we never get there.
And this is, I mean, pro controllers. I paid $130 for a controller once.
Oh, that's elite. That's a different story.
Elite controller,
yeah. Brett, would you be willing to see that's a different situation? Elite controllers, because they're typically 130, 140, sometimes more than that. You know.
No, I think that's still like that's it's like saying like how much would you be willing to pay for $100, but it was a really nice hat. Well, you still were willing to pay $100 for a hat. You know, so he can make the distinction. He wouldn't pay $130 for a standard controller, or if he paid $130, he would expect a certain amount of improvement. But he's still willing to pay $130 for a controller. At the end of the day, that statement is true.
Yeah,
I think I paid $180 for the fight stick. That's
for
the force stick.
Yeah.
See?
Wait,
so what I'm hearing.
The one you gave Adam?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think when it comes to premium,
you got some good shit.
Yeah,
I
man.
do got some.
Yeah,
I use it too. Every time I use it, I send pictures and stuff.
When it comes to premium controllers or whatever, gamers are definitely willing to pay top shelf money. You know,
I think gamers are willing to pay money for things they see.
Value.
Yeah, exactly. If it seems like it's worth. If they look at it and be like, yeah, that controller feels like it's worth $100, then they'll pay it because it's an investment.
Yo, I feel it right here.
Yo, this feels good. This feels like value.
Oh man! All right, let's move on, man. We got more questions tonight. Where the fuck are we? Okay, this is kind of interesting question too. Do you think we will ever see a series of games with interweaving storylines like in the MCU?
Don't we already kind of get that?
Do we have any examples of that? Because
the Souls games, I guess.
Yeah, something is telling me that there is a series out there that kind of does this, or games that are not connected but they are. Yeah,
like
the Souls series.
All right,
the Soul series it's a franchise. I don't know that it connects. Yeah, I guess it does because that's what MCU does. I would agree with that.
Yeah, all right.
Smash Brothers is the most obvious one.
BioShock.
With what?
Does it?
Infinite. Well, no, it's the same franchise. So
We're talking about like different games, right? Different games that all tell one story together, kind of like the MCU.
Yeah.
And I imagine that would involve cameos.
Yeah.
Like you'd have to have crossover.
Yeah, you would have to have that. Oh, but the question is, will we ever see? Not do they exist? Will we ever see anything like that?
Yeah. Like Devil May Cry has done it. They introduced Dante, and then they introduced Nero, and then they had a game with Dante and Nero in.
But that's still within the franchise.
Well, it was still Devil May Cry.
Yeah. But Marvel comics they're all still Marvel. Or are we talking about a publisher?
No, he's talking about like, for example, let's just say. And we can stick with one publisher if you want. Like you have Resident Evil, right? And then Dante shows up in Resident Evil, and then Mega Man shows up in Devil May Cry, shit like that. And then they all have one giant game together.
Shared universe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be tough because
Marketing.
the universes.
Yeah.
Well, the universes themselves are different. Like the MCU, the whole idea of comic books is, at least Cape and Cow comics is there's a normal world that we all live in, and there are super beings in it. And that normal world acts as a constant that ties everything together. Thus, the reason you can have the multiverse. Gaming could do that, but I'm trying to think of how it'd be incredibly difficult. And that's why I say like the closest I can think of is like Devil May Cry, where you have a character that has their own game, and then you have another character that has their own game, and then you have a crossover game. But I don't think even within publishers, most of the time they do several different things. I guess I could say all the Elder Scrolls games are tied together, but again, they're all part of a franchise. It's like saying all the Mass Effect are tied together. Like, yeah.
Here's one I just thought about right now that kind of has the beginnings of it. Remedy, right? Remedy Studios. Alan Wake is actually inside of Control, right? And there's nothing to prevent them from having Quantum Break characters in there too in the future. So they could potentially do it.
What about Half-Life and Portal?
Half-Life, that's one. That's one.
They linked those together.
That's one.
Then we have
also,
Castle.
I just realized something else.
Dead Rising.
Which one?
Dead Rising Castle. That guy. He was in a fighting game. Remember? He was in the Mortal Kombat games.
Yeah, I guess something like
the
that.
The photographer, the Capcom, and
yeah. Shit, I just blanked out when I was gonna say. Fuck.
You just realized something. I had said Portal and Half-Life.
Shit, I lost it.
It's gone.
Yeah, it's gone. It's one of those things where it's like, okay, hold on, Quantum Break. I lost it. Damn it, Adam. I lost it. Old man brain. Lost it. I'll probably remember by the end of the show.
I think the few times that we've done this, they've really publicized it, but like this takes place in the bloody blah.
Oh! Assassin's Creed and Watch Dogs. They're in the same universe. So
they are.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they are. So what's to stop them from also going, hey, Splinter Cell, that happens here too.
Far Cry.
That was in Wildlands. He's in that universe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. He is a Ghost Recon. But that's the Tom Clancy universe. You're all
okay. Yeah. I mean, Tom Clancy. I guess you could kind of say that's a MCU type of deal, kind of, sort of, maybe. But yeah, it'll be difficult for video games, just because it's a different medium, But it would be interesting.
Yeah. Let me ask you. So you have 12 video games, all with their own story and their own protagonist, and then you do a big crossover game. Who's the protagonist?
Shit.
Who do you play?
You would. I would imagine that you play as different characters in different levels and shit.
Because I'll tell you, I did not like that shit. They did that in Dragon's Age. Dragon's Age. They did that in Dragon's Age where you meet you from the first game, but it's not you playing it anymore. So like the you from the first game is talking to you. And like you may disagree with some of the shit that he says, and it's really weird to have your character like it is the model of your character. Like it brings it over from the first game. It is or the second game, whichever one it is.
This happened in Inquisition. I don't remember that happening in Inquisition.
I'm pretty sure it did. It was one of the Dragon's Age games. I think it was maybe between 1 and 2 or 2 and 3 that you had to face your old character, and it was really unpleasant, to be honest. Like I was like, don't you fucking take this character. Like I lovingly built this character. I have a relationship with this character. Like I have built this character from the ground up. We shared adventures. He's my homie. And now the controller has just taken control of him and he's talking shit. It just feels like he's been like assimilated by the Borg. Like it wasn't a fun reunion moment. It was this weird moment of detached perplexement. Like I was just like, I don't know what's going on, and I don't particularly like old me lecturing new me on what the fuck to do.
Yeah. Oh, this is interesting. Saints Row and Red Faction. Ultor is the big corporation in both games.
What?
Okay. Yeah. See, there's examples. So there's little examples here and there, But
yeah, but there's little nods like what is Abrams doing? Bad Robot. There's Slusho that's in every one of his movies.
Yeah.
But it was in Star Trek also. Star Trek's not connected to Super 8 and all that shit. It's just Easter eggs. There's a difference between Easter eggs and connecting our universe.
Yeah, so some have done it, but definitely Half-Life and all that shit that's connected.
Oh, like Count Chocula and
Count Chocula.
Is it that Count Chocula? Is it the one from that's in all the Quentin Tarantino movies? He has that box of cereal. in his movies. He always puts a Count Chocula. That was it, right? Count Chocula.
I don't remember. You might be right though. Is it in Django too? Then
It's always somewhere hidden somewhere. That's his little thing. Sort of like the way Sam Raimi always tried to add the same car from Evil Dead.
I know what you're. Yes, that's right. That's
classic.
Right.
Yeah,
that's cool. All right, let's move on. Johnny W. Uppercut. Before questions, he says, "What's up, guys? I hope your weekend is going well." Yes, it went well, sir. Thank you. Appreciate that. All right, his first question. Oh, okay, remember the Chirons, man. We got graphics now, motherfuckers. All right, and Brian, I want you to be the first guy to answer this one, all right? How come PC gamers want Nintendo and PlayStation exclusives but never ask for PC exclusives? Go ahead, Brian.
Still trying to understand the question exactly.
I guess
PC gamers don't bitch that they get exclusives.
Yeah, no, he's trying. Because I did have to edit the question a little bit. He's basically asking how come, PC guys are essentially port begging for all these exclusives from Nintendo and PlayStation, but they never asked for PC to have its own exclusives. I'm going to debunk all this. I just wanted you to go first because there's a flaw there, but I just wanted you to go first.
They do have exclusives. I mean,
actually, no, Brian. You know what, Brian? I'm gonna stop this right now. Hey, Brian, you want to play World of Warcraft with me on PlayStation 4?
I'd love to, but I sadly can't.
Why?
It's not on there. It's not on anything else apart from
PC. Would you say it's an exclusive to PC?
Yeah. Hence why I was saying I don't understand the question exactly because I'm they're all exclusives on PC. They're there.
StarCraft.
Yes, as many songs and praises as they do on console exclusives because E3 just is a thing. But yeah, they are there. Look at MMOs. They're pretty much PC exclusive. A whole genre. It's just exclusive on PC, pretty much. So that's why I didn't understand the question.
Yeah,
port begging. It's why not? It'd be cool to have those games on other platforms. I mean, why not? It makes sense. And plus, do you really want? Again, as much as I love my Switch, do you really want a tiny screen where just everything's like Diablo size, or do you want everything on a massive screen? It's hey, this is how great it looks, So why not just put it on PC? You don't compete with PCs exactly, so why not put it on PC?
Yeah, my thing is, if you look at the totality of PC gaming, I'm talking about when PC gaming first started, there are way more exclusives on PC than fucking console. Can you play Oregon Trail on console? I can't play that shit on console. It goes back and back. I think this question, and Johnny, obviously we're not ragging on you and something. It's just we're trying to be real here. I don't think you look at that side of the street very often. If you did, you're gonna know that PC actually has more exclusives than consoles do. That's just a fact.
They definitely have better pricing for their games.
Better pricing too. That's a whole other story. But yeah, PC already has more exclusives. So PC guys don't need to ask for them because they already got them. And like Brian said, the reason they're asking for those Nintendo and PlayStation games is because they want to play them on PC. Simple as that.
Yeah, I mean, again, take Bloodborne. I loved Bloodborne. I got the platinum in Bloodborne, but dear Lord, one of the biggest problems is that the frame rate just went to shit sometimes. It's annoying. So why should I have to put up with that nonsense? I can say, okay, cool, put on PC, where the frame rate does turn like shit, then I have the odds or I have the chances to mod it and make it run not like shit, or B, just put in more hardware and that it doesn't run badly. So I can customize my experience so that I don't have to deal with the limitations, and that's why I went to PC. It's hey, if one game to run at 100 frames a second, I just pump in more cash into it, and then boom, I can get that. Whereas on console, it's you kind of have to wait till next gen, and that's it. That's all you have.
Yeah, I don't think we need to go any further. It's PC has more exclusives, that's just the end of that. All right, next question is also related to PC gaming. We hear that Xbox and PlayStation graphics have maxed out. How come people don't say the same thing about PC graphics, especially since the price of GPUs is going up, but the graphics aren't getting any better? Brian, you want to take this one again to just lead us off?
I think I'm trying to understand what he's trying to get at here in terms of better. It's I think you just need to go to certain types of games. Again, this goes back to the argument of like why devs don't make games that looks absolutely stunning on PC. Because again, not everyone has a GTX or an RTX 2080. Like no one has that, so hence they can't really do that. They can't really push that. They can push for high end stuff, but they can't really push for like the top tier stuff anymore because it's just not as profitable. It's a shame because it'd be cool to see now, especially now with tech, but just don't see it anymore, which is unfortunate. Again, everyone always does the lowest common um, denominator, which, as we know, is consoles. So hence, if you're on the consoles, then they push it out and say that's fine. I mean, look at Watch Dogs. Look at what they did to.
Oh
Look at how much is
man,
my boy.
Aiden Pierce, man.
I was so excited for that. I'm like, this is next gen. Like when people say next gen, this is what they mean, and then it's like, oh no, that's not next gen. That's just
That was
base
amazing.
gen.
Brian,
That
I
was
have a
amazing.
Watch Dogs
Killzone 2 again.
T-shirt. I know you're paying.
Damn.
Oh, Brett, I pre-ordered the game on Uplay. I was that excited.
Yo.
Yeah, but at least you don't have to sometimes wear your excitement for the failed game out into the world.
I have to stand there knowing that I did the two cardinal sins. I pre-ordered a game, and I got a PC game from Ubisoft. Like, if you say that to any guy that plays on PC, you just get like shunned away. Like, oh, you filthy man! How dare you do that? They go all Greta on you. How dare you? You know.
Get Greta on you. Yo, but Brian, but if you say, but it was for Watch Dogs, I think they'll be like, oh fuck, I understand, bro. I understand.
That trailer looked amazing, though.
Yeah, I think that you'll be forgiven that one sin or two sins just because of the fact of the game it was.
I guess I didn't hear the whole thing, but was this Watch Dogs 1 or 2?
The first one.
Oh, okay. Brian, we're cool, man. Because if it was for 2, then I'll be
for
like,
Watch Dogs 2, everybody was like looking at it like, hold on. Even though the game was dope, don't get me wrong, Watch Dogs 2 was great, but people were looking at it with a side eye, like, I'm not gonna get fooled again, not this time, buddy.
I fall in the exact same camp that Brian was because I pre-ordered that shit. I got it on PC too because I thought, this is the next fucking generation of shit, and it's gonna look amazing. It couldn't run on my PC. It was a
Couldn't
choppy
run on
ass
anybody's
mess.
PC. Don't feel bad.
Yeah, it was horrible, man. Sleepless nights.
On your PC?
On my PC's killing me.
That's crazy.
Oh man,
hey, what's up?
Oh no, work stuff.
Oh shit! All right, go ahead.
It's like it's that feeling. I mean, for all the programmers, like when you're debugging shit and then you finally figure out what the fuck is going on, and then there was some stupid shit. That's just what happened.
What happened? All right, man. Let's move on. Where the hell are we right now, man? All right, we got Black Metal Gamer in the house. So his first question is a pretty simple one. What is your favorite handheld, and what are your favorite games for it?
Go with Brett.
Yeah, Brett.
My favorite handheld would be the Switch.
I knew he was gonna say that shit. I knew.
I mean, you set it up, I knock him down, man. What can I say? Yeah, man. My favorite handheld is the Switch. And I firmly believe the Switch is a handheld because if it looks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's a fucking duck.
It's a handheld.
And my favorite games on it so far are, man, I love the fact that Doom's on there. Although that's not really like, man, because when you played it on PS4, you're just like, dude, this feels like underpowered for the system. So the fact they got on the Switch, not the greatest success in the world, but still fun as shit. Really like the Pokemon game. Really like Zelda, obviously. I actually enjoy ARMS. I know nobody talks about it. It's pretty much a failed game, the failed Punch-Out version of the Switch, but it's actually pretty fun, and it's a decent workout.
Oh yeah, a lot of people don't give that game props. That's cool.
It's the reincarnation of Power Stone.
Well, I don't think anybody any of you actually played it?
No.
I played the demo.
It's actually fun.
They should have just named it Punch Out. And
they should have. But here's the thing: like, you sit there and you kind of extend your spring arms, and you can control the direction of them. Like, if you pivot like this afterwards, it'll kind of trail left or trail right. And so it's rock paper scissors between grab, block, and punch. If somebody's blocking a punch, they're open to being grabbed, which is throwing both arms out. So it's a timing thing. And then they had this whole other thing where you move to the side, you press the top. and you're able to like jump and double jump and like back jump. So when you get really good at it, you're dodging around the arena, double jumping and like hurling a fist, and then landing and retracting it, trying to do an uppercut, and then dropping back and double jumping out of the way, leaping into the air, dropping above them, and then reaching out and grabbing. It gets very Power Stony. So you think it's going to start out like Punch Out, and then you add the locomotion to it, and it's dope. And it's fun to play on a controller. Like, you don't need to have. In fact, you're honestly, to be really good at it, you almost need to play it on a controller. And I think that's why a lot of people just kind of like, it's a boxing game kind of thing. So it kind of sucks. It was a fun concept that just didn't really hit. But one of the games I enjoy playing.
Cool. All right, Adam, favorite handheld of all time?
All time Game Boy Advance. It had everything, and it had Final Fight, the correct version of Final Fight with all 3 characters, as opposed to what the Super Nintendo offered. So for that, and my current one is, of course, like you said, the Switch. Got Diablo 3 on there, and Marvel Ultimate Alliance on there, all my classic games on there.
Oh shit, I forgot I had
Play Final Fight is on there with the Capcom beat 'em up. So I love it. It's fun. That's the only time I ever play it. I don't ever dock that shit. I don't need to be disappointed. I need to just enjoy it for what it is. Because I'm telling you, when you put that shit in dog mode, it looks like garbage. But it looks
if you got a 4K, bro. Yeah, if you got a 4K. Yeah.
So I'm not going to put this into a CRT. Fuck that. I'd rather just play it in 720p. Everything looks peachy creamy. I like it.
Yeah.
So, that's it.
All right, Carlos, man.
I'll just go with Vita, baby.
Excuse me? There you go. Somebody had to say, where's Riku at, man? I want to get him in here just for this question alone. You know?
Actually, I'm not going to go with the Vita, although shout out to the Vita.
You know?
I'll go with the PSP because, man, when that shit came out, it did everything. Put music on that, put movies on that, played movies. Like, what do you call it? You went to you sailed the high seas on the thing, man.
So it's like Vita?
Yeah, so the PSP.
Oh, the PSP. PSP was alright. It just didn't do it for me.
You can do everything on that. I remember like being in my on my web design class in high school and playing freaking Super Mario Bros on it.
Yeah.
Saving the state and
but
carrying on.
Did you have any favorite game, like actual games for it, or was it just like a pirate simulator for you?
See, but that's the thing. There's plenty of those. We're talking about like retail best console one.
Retail best console one.
Yeah, best console retail. You can't. When you talked about, that's when you went and you put in your custom firmware on the 1000, but that's not out the box.
Nothing's out the box.
Nothing. Game Boy Advance was out the box. All the shit was on there.
Yep. Anyway, Carlos, favorite games, man.
God of War: Chains of Olympus, Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core, Ghost of Sparta.
Nice.
I'm trying to think of what else I played on there. I played a lot of stuff. Those three were my favorites. The fucking honestly, the God of War games on the Vita, on the PSP, I think they were better than the ones on the PS2.
They looked better.
That's a bold statement.
The stories were better on those games.
Very bold statement.
I mean, but the thing is, I halfway agree with Carlos. I think those games are better than God of War 2. I will agree with that.
Oh yeah, watch out!
Yeah, right. Yeah, no, I
really
like. Yeah, God of War 1, that's still the ultimate God of War for me, but those games were definitely better, for me at least, than God of War 2.
God of War 3 was like...
God of War 3 was on a PS2 game, by the way.
It was a PS3 game.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, good shit. Never mind.
Yeah, because you said...
I feel like PSP was where games went when they couldn't get funding for PlayStation.
Oh, shit.
You know that it's true. Like,
I know what you're talking about.
All the spin-off games, all the sequels, they all went to PSP, man.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't give PSP a good look.
Little Big Planet was fun on there too.
LBP.
Truth.
Yeah.
Truth. Man, I really wish the Vita had taken off.
really
want
do
to put
too,
the
man.
Vita on this list.
Yeah.
Man,
It's like,
if
the
a
hardware
yeah,
it was amazing.
second Vita, it would have looked like a Switch.
Yeah, I'll go next.
You're right.
Yeah, because I would have wanted the Vita to be on this list, and for me at least, because there was a lot of good shit on there. Just the fact that it was like the best handheld, like objectively because of the tech, but Sony fucked it up with the damn with the hardware, not the hardware, the memory cards.
Memory
Fucking
cards.
Well,
ridiculous.
dude, they were halfway to what's like if they would have made. I agree.
Brett,
would
you're cutting
have
out,
been-
but I'm gonna just say what I'm pretty sure you're saying. The Switch is what the fucking Vita should have been,
No, the Switch is what the Vita would have been.
or would have been if Sony didn't fuck it up.
If there had been a Vita 2, if you look at it, Sony was kind of onto the right idea with remote play and all that. Their problem was they wanted to make everything so wireless, and that doesn't. It pushed technology, and it was a feature that didn't really work the way that it was supposed to. If they would have just put a goddamn dock on the thing so that it would hook right up into HDMI.
Yeah.
And I know that there were ways that you could do that. You could buy a special cord. I think you could plug it into the HDMI mini and plug it into the HDMI.
They had,
It was so many
PlayStation
workarounds.
TV.
That shit
The
should
PlayStation TV.
that should have been a
stand.
stand. Brett. That should have been a feature day one.
Yeah, and it shouldn't be a cord where you have to lay it on the thing. It should have been a fucking small dock. Not necessarily as high profile as a Switch, but just like a little fucking cradle that you set your Vita in, that charges it and sends its picture to the TV. And then you should have been able to assign a PlayStation control to it and just fucking go. And I feel like that would have been what the Vita 2 was. They would have looked at it and say, we have these features, they're not being used, let's make them more accessible. They would have come out with this, and they would have beat Nintendo to the punch, and they would be the ones making money hand over fist right now. But instead, they decided to not support it. They decided to pull the plug on the handheld market, and Nintendo beat. I mean, it's kind of funny because it's all full circle, isn't it? Sony was birthed out of Nintendo's failure to move forward, and then Nintendo was rebirthed like a phoenix out of the ashes out of Sony's inability to leverage their technology correctly. It's ironic, actually.
Damn, man, that's heavy shit. By the way, shout out to Brett's dog, man. All right,
That'd be Sagan. Sagan.
Sagan, what's going on, brother? Named after a great man.
It's a she.
Oh, it's a she?
Spelled like a Genesis.
Really? Yeah. So
Wait.
Isn't it after Carl Sagan?
It's after Carl Sagan and the Sega Genesis, so it's Segan.
Ah, named after a great man and a great system.
Oh, dirt.
I
She's
like
all
that.
black with little bits of red and white, man.
Man. Fucking amazing.
I don't know what that has to do with Sega, but okay.
The Genesis.
Genesis is black and red. Yeah, man.
It was a joke.
What the fuck was I talking? Oh yeah. So anyway, my answer is the original, the old school, the original Game Boy. Man, that is my favorite handheld. That's the handheld that got me into so much gaming. Like, and you already know what my favorite game is on. It fucking Tetris, man. I played the shit out of Tetris all day, every day. That version of Tetris, every version I've played since. I'm being real right now. Every version I played since, they've been technologically better. They look better. They play better. I don't give a fuck. Game Boy version is still my favorite version of that fucking game. Love that shit. Super Mario Land, the Super Mario Land games. Wario Land, people forget that's where Wario started on the Game Boy. Samus
Dude, I
Returns.
agree.
Yeah.
But no backlight. Like, really?
Dude, this was 1989. We didn't know what the fuck backlight was, you know?
Well, there actually was one, and that was in Japan. We just never got that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was 9 years old. You think I was like, I want a backlight. I don't know what the fuck that shit is.
Dude, I got it. I got the little fucking magnifying glass thing that went down over the screen. It took 4 AA batteries just to put a little goddamn light on your Game Boy because you couldn't play that shit at night
That
unless
was
you
the
were
main
sitting
reason why I
directly
got the
under a
mod
lamp.
for this.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, look at
Because
Adam's
I had
mod
to
right there. Yeah, man.
I had to get the backlight because I'm like, I want to play, but like you said, I was like, my eyes.
Yeah.
And I was like, shit, gotta put the backlight.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you remember the Voltron monstrosity that thing eventually? Like, you buy a little backlight and a little magnifying glass, and then
Then
like
the case with
another
the grip.
I've
backpack.
seen those.
Yeah.
But I was 9. My eyesight was good, so I didn't give a fuck. By the way, it says I have this opportunity, and we always like to do this on Throwdown. I'm going to tell you guys the story of how I lost my Game Boy, because this is some bullshit. Okay, so this was like 1995 or so, junior high school, right? Like an idiot, I brought the Game Boy into school, right? And then one of my friends like, yo, let me borrow it. I'm like, yo, just yeah, I think you already know where this is going, right? And my friend's like, yo, let me borrow it. And I'm like, okay, just don't fucking use it in class. What does he do? he uses it in fucking class. So his teacher takes it away from him, right? And I go to the teacher like, yo, that's my Game Boy. Can I get it back? He's like, no, you can only get it back if your parent comes in to get it for you, right? So I tell my mom, like, hey, can you get my Game Boy back? She's like, no, you took that shit to school. You lost it. Tough shit. And that's how I lost my Game Boy, you know? Hey, shout out to my mom. That's a good lesson to teach your children, you know?
Shit. I had one with Streets of Rage. I think it was Streets of Rage 1 or maybe 2, but I definitely know it's Streets of Rage. And it was a buddy of mine. He was like, yo, I'm going on this trip. Can I borrow it? You know, they have a Genesis over there. I just want to play. I'm like, okay. Motherfucker never came back. That trip was him moving.
Dang.
Oh, my
shit.
Yo.
Like, yo, where is he?
Damn.
He made sure to fucking steal my shit.
Was it moved?
Oh, God
Yo.
damn, man.
That pissed me off. They moved to Vegas.
Damn, they took your shit, bro.
Took my shit.
Yeah, all right. Chris, what's your favorite handheld, man? Mr.
Will.
Seeley.
Oh, sorry. Well, I was mulling it over. I mean, Carlos kind of had my answer because I use my PSP for a great many things, including watching all my bootlegs on the subway going to work. Adam hooked me up, and then I had the emulators on there. I played my Genesis games,
Yeah,
and then my favorite game came later. It was Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker. I played the shit out of that game, man. I loved that game. So I mean, my original answer was going to be GBA, and I think my favorite game on there was Metroid Zero Mission. But no, the PSP edges it out just because, like, Carlos listed it, and all the stuff I could do, and I had the bootlegs on there. I could watch my movies. I would sort of download stuff the night before, load it on there, take it on the train, or watch episodes. That's how I used to watch 24 because I didn't have time to watch it, like because of my work schedule.
Yeah.
Just
Wouldn't
watch
that
on the
make your
subway.
cell phone your favorite handheld?
I didn't have an iPhone or anything at the time. I just had the PSP.
Well, no, but you have a cell phone since then, and it does all of those things. You can do emulators, you can watch movies on it. I mean, I'm just saying, cell phone does count as a handheld. If we're talking multimedia, it's the best multimedia device.
Yeah, but fuck Apple.
Yeah.
I just use it as a phone, man. I don't. No, it's weird because like there's all these games on there. I don't play games on my phone.
Yeah, I don't do it
I just
either.
I use it talk, text, and go on Twitter.
Yeah, I can't play phone games.
Fuck that
I
shit.
send emails, and that's it. And maybe web browsing a little bit, and even that sucks. So yeah.
Yeah. No, in general, like, yo, I'm not playing no games on my phone. Get the shit out of here, man.
No, of course not. The thing's a piece of trash, but it's good for multimedia. It's good for watching movies
Until
and
I
shit.
can use a controller and play legit games like xCloud, I'm not doing it.
Yeah. Anyway, Brian, favorite handheld, bro.
I think I say Game Boy Color. Did have the OG Game Boy. Yep, the weird caramel grey thingamajig. Oh my gosh, that was weird. But yeah, Game Boy Color was my favorite. Got it with Pokemon Yellow, hence why I went for Let's Go Pikachu because nostalgia bait. Why not? Yeah, that was it. I can't say the Switch because again, I don't feel compelled to play the Switch, even though it has better games on it.
The power Nintendo compels you!
Yo, what about fucking Astral Chain, bro?
It's good, but it's just not. Again, when I booted up Let's Go Pikachu and I heard the theme song just play, it's like, oh my gosh, like this just hits home, you know. It hits where the heart is, you know. And
Yeah.
Astral Chain just doesn't do that for me yet, so I can't say that. So purely based on nostalgia, Game Boy Color.
I thought you were gonna say the N-Gage.
Yeah, Engage was one of those. Oh my gosh, Engage.
And
so-
I knew
so-
a few people into that
Brian,
shit.
yeah, Brian is the only person I know that actually legitimately liked
Really?
actually liked it. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, he was so good though. We used to play this
Yeah,
game,
I
like,
knew
all
some
the
people
time.
into that.
I remember once, like we were like in this math class and we're playing this racing game called Asphalt, and
That's
basically
still
like we were all like in the same race, and then every time that teacher used like turn around, we'd like just like put the Engage down and then like pretend that we're making notes, and then second that he turns back again, we just start racing again. Oh my gosh, it was so much fun. Like we all had it back there.
Asphalt 5 just came out on Switch.
Oh my gosh, it's still
It's
going.
free too. It's free.
They should pay you to play it.
Hey, do you feel compelled to pick up your now?
My Switch now? No. Asphalt was like the only game that was there that we could play with like 10 people, so hence why we just played it. It was like, hey, it's like the only game we had. Yeah, but yeah, it was good. And plus we had Tomb Raider. So That's always fun. Like the OG Tomb Raider, not remake Tomb Raider.
Oh shit, the real Tomb
Trying,
Raider.
triangle boobs. Tomb
The
Raider.
Indiana Jones.
Yo, by the
So,
way, Throwdown, the only podcast that waxes nostalgic about the 3DO and the N gauge.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
But then it's actually really quite cool. Like it's a cool idea. It's like a
It was a
small
very cool
handheld.
idea.
You know, it's powerful enough, sort of. You know,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
it had PlayStation games on it sometimes. You know, so it's like, come on, man, it's cool.
The only handheld I ever wanted and never got was the Turbo Express. That thing was freaking amazing. Think about it. It was the first that you could take your console game from a Turbo Graphics and then bring it on to go and put it in a portable and play it. You didn't have to buy a separate cartridge or a game. It was amazing.
All right, man. Moving on to the next one. Let's do a little Chiron here. Chiron. All right. So next question is a pretty straightforward one. I think we can answer this without getting into too much trouble. Do you guys play ROM hacks or homebrews of old retro games? I think this.
Come on now.
Now here's the
Come
thing.
on now.
But before we answer the question, right? Okay. He's talking about hacks and homebrew. So I'm guessing it's like you take the original retro game and then they fuck around with it, right? So do you play those type of games?
I've played some of them. The Super Mario one where you could have multiple people jumping in and running. I played that one, but most of the time, no. I'll just play like the ROMs and go for my retro achievements and do stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I do play a lot of my ROMs. That's pretty much it. Emulation on everything. That's one of my hobbies.
Yeah, my answer is no to this specific question. I play the normal games. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna play like, Batman. Batman Returns with like Spider-Man hacked into it or some shit. I'm not gonna do that. I want to play the shit I remember when I was a kid. And again, Throwdown does neither endorse or whatever these activities. But if you just so happen to do it, we won't judge. You know what I'm saying?
I think the last one I played was WrestleFest. There's a hacked version where you can actually play as Legion of Doom. Because you can't play as Legion of Doom in the game. It's just they're the final boss, but there's a hacked version where it lets you play them.
Yeah, no, I don't play the hacked versions. I play the actual legit versions, because again, it kind of, to me, the reason I play those ROMs, Adam, I think you can understand, you want to go back to your childhood. You want to experience that shit. I'm not trying to fuck around like that, unless they put the 30 lives in Konami, but I could do that myself, Yeah, what's up? You cut out, bro. Damn, all right. Damn. Yeah, say that whole shit again, bro.
I think in the context of this question, any ROM that you're playing on your PC is technically hacked.
I guess. Again.
Yeah, but there is a separate section just for hacked.
Just for hack. Yeah.
They have like different.
Technically, you're correct, but they, in the context of this question, it's specific games that are like, just messed around with that are not in their original state, even though granted the ROM is not its original state either, but you know what I'm saying. Yep. But I don't play those like that old school ROM shit. Fuck yeah. Fuck right now, yeah.
I'm trying to get the platinum in Super Mario World.
Yeah, the platinum. Yo. Oh man, by the way, Adam's doing this on Retro Arch, so
yeah, Retro Achievement, go on there, you'll find me on there. And you'll see there is a way to get the full Achievables list. So.
Yeah. All right. What about the rest of you guys? Do you play any of these ROM hacks and homebrews of old games?
No, I don't really do that.
No, I just play the straight ROMs. I don't think before the Samus Returns on 3DS came out, these guys released a custom build of theirs. It was called like AM2R.
Oh yeah, remember? Man.
But that's not really a ROM hack or anything. They remade the game themselves.
Yeah.
So that doesn't count. So my answer is no. Yeah. Technically no.
Man, I have to check. I think I may have it. If you know what I mean. Did they finish it, by the way?
Well, they had gotten to a point before Nintendo hit them with the cease and desist. I do have it if you want it.
Okay, we'll talk later. Yeah, I think I have it, but if I don't, I'll get it from you because that looked fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, moving on to the next question, which is from Eurocar 9. I don't know who this guy is, man.
Sounds like a smart guy.
Craigslist.
Yeah. He sounds like a Mexican. I don't know.
Whoa!
Hey! How's that racist? Mexicans are great people, bro. They make tacos, son.
But what if he's
After the whole Corona shit, people been knocking us down, man.
Yeah,
We don't
hey,
need
listen.
any more of that.
Yeah, don't blame that on
slander.
Mexico. You know. Yeah, exactly. So his first question. This is a funny question too. Which will come first, world peace or the PlayStation 5 reveal?
World peace.
Oh,
World
man.
peace is going to come first. You know, if this keeps up, there's going to be world peace. Oh, I'm going to stop myself. I'm going to say something fucked up. I can't do it.
World peace first.
Put a
because-
piece on it. Yeah. Go ahead.
Because chances are, like, the coronavirus is going to kill like enough people that there'll be like 7 people left, and hence they'll have world peace.
Listen, that's what that's what I was gonna say, but I didn't say it. Thank you, Brian. That's exactly what I was gonna say. I'm like, yeah, it's gonna be world peace. No one's gonna be around. You know. Oh man, yeah. Again. You know, Sony. Please say something. This is getting ridiculous
right?
now.
And
Man.
if you see something, say something. Come on,
Yeah,
Sony.
if you see something, say something. This is like, yo, Sony, like, what is wrong with you, right? You know what? I'll stop because I went on a rant about this on the last episode. So if you want to hear that, go check out episode 273 of Throwdown.
What if they delay it?
Listen, by the way, hold the pin on it. We got a question about that later on. Yeah, do we? I think we do. Anyway, what the fuck are we right now? I'm lost.
Eurocar 9 asked another question.
Okay, here we go. He's a good guy, man. I like this guy.
Yeah,
All right.
I like him too.
We all know that Microsoft wants Xbox as a service to be on every platform. Do you think it's fair to criticize them this upcoming generation if their console does not sell well? This kind of goes back to what we were talking about before with the whole perceived value type of thing. It's like, okay, if you can play Xbox games on your phone, on your Xbox One, on your PC, why do you need the console? So, but that is a question. Like, is it fair to judge I guess the success of Xbox on Xbox Series X? At this point, I don't think so, which is crazy. And I just realized something right now as I'm answering this question. Microsoft is fucking genius, man. Think about it like this, right? Okay, Xbox One tanked, right? So now they're like, you know what? Let's not even worry about that shit next generation. Console sales, fuck that shit. We're gonna be on everything. So if Xbox Series X doesn't sell, it don't matter because we're successful. You know? So yeah, it's like I was gonna say the blue ocean, it's the green ocean. They're doing their own thing. I don't know if I answered your question, Carlos, but that's my answer.
No, yeah, you did.
So yeah, no, I don't think. Yo, it's crazy to say this. What I'm about to say sounds insane. No, Xbox Series One X should not be judged, or Xbox in general should not be judged on the sales of this console. It should be judged on how many people are subscribing to, Game Pass or whatever the fuck this shit they're calling it now.
It's going to be a few services because there's XCloud and then there's Game Pass, and they're all separate. But so we'll see. We'll see when they announce at E3 the whole package deal.
I hope some
Oprah moment, but like, and it's out now for everybody. Making dreams come true. That's what I do. Uncle Phil in the house.
Yeah, they just position themselves in a way where, like, the traditional sense of analyzing console sales and everything, it just doesn't really apply to them anymore. Now it's like if their service works, because that's what they're banking everything on, then they fail. But for Sony and Nintendo, if their sales are like shit next gen, then they got nothing else to hang their hats on.
Right? Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, you have to look at Xbox now as not just console sales. You have to look at xCloud and Game Pass subscription, Xbox Live subscriptions, all that stuff, like stacked together.
Yeah.
So yeah, they position themselves a good spot. Like even if Xbox Series X sells like crap, if people are signing up for Game Pass and Xbox Live, whatever, and just like, oh, I'm on my PC or I got xCloud on my iPad or whatever, you still getting your money.
Yep.
That shit is crazy, man. All right, so shit, I think I had the wrong Chiron, man. No, we had the right one. Give me a sec here to get the right one because we have another. Yeah, we answered those questions kind of fast. Shit, and that's pretty interesting because Brett's here.
Brett probably went to go make some dinner.
I'm being an asshole right now. Give me a second.
Yeah, I just wasn't paying that much attention.
It was about Xbox. You don't give a fuck, right?
Oh no, I do.
Yeah. All right, man. Let's move on. Where the fuck are we? We are answering the next question. This is from our boy, Big Mike. Big Mike. Big Mike.
Yo, Mike, you good?
You good, Mike? You good? All right. So his question is: what do you guys think about the Xbox Series X CPU performance being on par with a Ryzen 5 1600? Ryzen, you know what I'm talking about. I'm leaving this to the PC guys. So, Carlos, why don't you start us off with, man? I didn't hear about this rumor, by the way. I just, Big Mike brought it to my attention.
Those 12 quads. Those teraflops.
Is that the 12 core Ryzen? Is that the one he's talking about?
No, I think it's
No, it's not.
I think it's 8.
I thought the 3950 or whatever was the beefy one.
Okay,
Yeah, I gotta look it up.
What did he say again? Was it the 1600?
He said the 1600, yeah.
Okay, that's not too bad. Like,
6
again,
cores.
It's a pretty solid CPU. Again, it's a decent CPU. That's like one of the issues that I have with the PS4 and stuff. That the CPUs aren't that great. So
Yeah, even when they came out, they weren't that great.
So having them be like a good Ryzen CPU, then that's really good. I mean, if I remember correctly, it was like the top end of that range of CPUs. So yeah, it's really good. So let's hope that they put it to good use. Let's hope that we see this like 100 frames per second or whatever nonsense that they are claiming. Let's see.
120?
Yeah. So let's see that in action. Come on. Let's see Halo 8. 100
Yeah.
second.
I'm actually kind of impressed by just pretty much most of the specs that they've announced for the Xbox One or the Xbox Series X, because I just don't see how this is going to be $500. I mean, I know there's rumors on the Sony one saying it's what cost $450. Has there been anything about Microsoft's console?
They said that Uncle Phil on that podcast said that they're going to have some surprises and they're going to do some drastic changes to how things are usually done. And I have a feeling it is going to deal with the price. Either they're going to take a hit or they're going to take a hit and then offer for a limited time, maybe 6-month period, bring in your current gen Xbox and you'll get, $200 off whatever. They're going to do some kind of service like that.
Yeah.
To try to eat up the cost. So it's like, it's like $500, but if you trade in your box to $200 off, there you go. Now you're down to $300. You'll be okay. And remember, it plays all your old shit, so you're not losing out.
Yeah. Anything else on the Ryzen? Again, I got nothing to say on this one.
Yeah,
I got nothing.
You got nothing. You're a bum, Rock.
You're a bum. That's all.
I was fiddling with my.
What is
I had to fix some shit.
Yeah. Okay. Brett. Yeah.
What exactly was the question again?
The question was, what the fuck is the question now? It was from Big Mike. Do you think what do you think about the rumor or whatever that the Xbox Series X's CPU performance is on par with the Ryzen 5 1600?
Do you have anything to back this up?
I don't fucking know, man. Like, I literally just heard this now.
Ryzen 1600, like, I haven't been keeping up with cards. Like, I don't know what the specs on that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's an AMD card, I believe. I don't know. This is not my area of expertise, man. Yeah, go ahead.
I get the specs.
Yeah, if you want, yeah, go ahead. Hey, listen, man, I just play the games. I don't know about all that other shit. All right, we'll give Brian some time. Again, this goes back to actually, but just to be fair though, Microsoft is at least putting out some information, but I don't know where.
A lot of information.
A lot, but I don't know. I'm thinking about Sony. It's like these motherfuckers ain't giving out enough information.
Well, here's the thing: Microsoft is. I know that they don't necessarily deal in hardware, but they're in the computer industry already. Like I would think that if anybody could source computer parts cheaply, Microsoft would have a lead on that. Almost better than a single, a fucking Dell came out with a damn console. Like, I think Microsoft is going to be able to leverage their ties in the industry to get prices or get access to the best parts for the best prices. Does anybody disagree with that?
No, but then again, so does Nvidia, and look at all the fucking publishers pulling off of their service. It's like, yo, I thought we were boys. We hook up your games on the freaking cards. Come on now.
This is true, and that's why generally you see them partnering with Nvidia or AMD, something like that, to make their chipsets. But Microsoft they have the capacity to be the leader in the industry in terms of hardware. I think more easily than Sony does. But it's kind of like, I guess what I'm saying is, like, when somebody gets 100% on a test, like, you can't beat that. I think Microsoft has an amazing ability to leverage their position for good hardware. And even if Sony also has an excellent leverage to get good hardware, I don't think it's going to be better than Microsoft. Microsoft has an intrinsic advantage in being able to get and produce good hardware at a low price. Am I wrong on this? I feel like I might. I feel like there's probably something that has to do with these things being manufactured somewhere in like Taiwan with closer proximity to Japan, or like there's some reason why I'm wrong on this, right?
I don't know, man. I don't know how to answer that.
If I came to you and I said, like, if you pick a company that you think would build the most badass PC, any company in the world, and they could put any amount of money or whatever, like as a competition thing, who could do it? I tell you, I feel like Microsoft. I know that they're known for their operating system, but I feel like they'd be able to put together a pretty badass rig. Who could build the most badass PC for under $10,000? Like Microsoft would be in that running.
Yeah, they definitely have the money for it. That's for sure.
That's the thing. They can eat up the cost. That's why everyone's saying Microsoft can do it, because they have the money. They can definitely take a hit. They don't give a shit. They did it before on a 360. They took a big hit on the 360 because there had to be a quick turnaround. Because remember, there was only not even 2 or 3 years after the original Xbox when they started developing the 360. They were like, "Oh, we got to push this shit out now."
Yeah. All right. Brian, go ahead, bro.
Okay, Brett, I got the specs. What specs are you after exactly?
Just how much RAM DDR? Is it DDR5?
DDR4 support. 6 cores, 12 threads, base clock, 3.2 gigs, up to 16 megabytes of L3 cache. Yes, so it seems alright. And
That seems reasonable.
And I'm looking at some benchmarks. They say it's the main competitor of this CPU is the Intel Core 7 i7600K. So
yeah, no, that sounds absolutely great. That's the Sandy architecture. A little bit dated. It's not using DDR5 as the base. The chipsets are into DDR5. I'm not talking completely out of my ass, but I think chipsets are well into DDR5, which is, if you want to talk about the generation of a PC, when it goes up in DDR is when kind of everything starts swapping over. So PCs are into DDR5 technology. It's still kind of prohibitively expensive, but it's there, which means that DDR4 technology is going to be kind of on the clearance shelf, which is exactly when it gets funneled into things like console, right?
Usually.
Yeah, so no, I find this completely. That seems completely reasonable. You essentially have an old i7. And that's going to be pretty beastly for a console, but it's not bleeding edge for a PC. Fuck, I have an i7 in my PC that I built like 9 years ago.
Damn. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Specs. So, yeah, hoping good things for Microsoft.
We shall see. And Sony, get your shit together. Just saying.
Every day I become less convinced that they can do it, man.
All right. Move on here. We got GZDR in the house. Actually, no, not GZDR. What the fuck is GZDR anyway? This is G Megaforce. I haven't seen him in a while. What is your most hated? What are some of your most hated enemies in video games? For me, Ninja Gaiden 1 and 2, Ghost Fishies. Hated those with a passion. I still do. Chris, I'm gonna take your answer. Those flying fucking things from Castlevania. Jesus Christ.
Oh, the Medusa heads.
Yeah. Hate those fucking things, man. In general, I don't like enemies that are small in games, like sprite-based games, because it's hard to hit them. You gotta like crouch, and then sometimes you can't even hit them because like their sprite is smaller than yours and shit. Like pretty much any of those type of games. But yeah, those flying Medusa things, fuck that shit.
They're a pain in the ass. Actually, in the first Ninja Gaiden, I would take those stupid ravens who would swoop off screen, and if you jump back, they would respawn even if you kill them, and then just knock you right in a hole. Those shits was annoying.
Yeah, and my other most hated enemy is Mega Man 1. The entire game is my enemy. Like, that game was fucking bullshit. Like, okay, Mega Man 2 onward, like, enemies had specific patterns and stuff. They were tough, but Mega Man, everything was a homing missile right at you. You know? It's like, come on, man, this is some bullshit. Slippery floors everywhere. Like, oh, my God. And then fucking the sand monster, or whatever the fuck that thing was. You know what I'm talking about. That fucking Dust Devil, I think his name was. Fuck that thing. That entire game is my enemy, man. Mega Man 1. All right, Brian, what are some of your most hated enemies in video games?
I don't really have... Oh, I have one. Enemies in, like, action games that have stupidly long spears and can somehow reach you, whereas you need to, like, run up to them and hit them. Yeah, they have like sticks that can like reach like the length of the screen. It's like, why am I playing you? Like, why are you doing this? Like, developer, like, why did you put this guy in there with like the stick that's twice as long as me, and I have like a pickaxe or like a shiv? Like, why are you doing this? Like, that's not fair. Not fun. So yeah, I can't stand that. Enemies with unbelievably long reach. Can never stand it.
Can I throw in archers into that? Because I hate fucking archers. Archers are my bane of my existence. They're always just peppering you with shit. Then you run up to them, and then when they see you coming, they start running away. So you gotta chase these fucking idiots. It's like, come on, man! You only have one hitbox. Let me hit you. You know,
dude. Archers are easy. You gotta.
I love Analondo.
Yeah. Oh, and I'm not saying they're hard. They're just fucking annoying. You know, assholes.
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
Yeah. To me, it turns into Benny Hill. It's like I'm chasing them, then he starts running away from me and shit. Like, come here, you motherfucker!
Oh wait, Brian, did you say Anno Orlando? You mean the ones who are shooting the Dragon Slayer arrows that can knock you off the level?
Shit.
They're not just those guys aren't just archers. They're something else.
It's like Superman shooting an arrow at you. That shit sends you flying.
Yeah. On that same note, guys, the RPG guys.
The RPG. Oh yeah, I hate those guys too.
I say the ones with bombs on them are much worse than the RPGs. Like, at least with RPGs, they're like far away and you can like dodge in time. Whereas the guys that just run up to you and explode, they can just go away. Cause
I was just about to say that.
I don't know I don't know how close they need to be safe. So I'm just like, do I stop shooting them? Do I not stop shooting them? I don't know.
Yeah, suicide guys in games, especially cover-based games, because they take you out of cover. These fucking idiots. Damn, Adam.
I typed in 4 letters. Okay,
yeah, like,
that was a lot of clicks for 4 letters.
Yeah, right.
That was it. I'll do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. That was it.
Damn, that sounded like 8 clicks.
Well, you're like 3 clicks per letter, man.
Look at it. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll do it again.
That sounds like 7 fucking clicks, man.
Yeah, there was at least 7.
That's it.
Wow. Anyway,
when you got the glow, you feel
Adam, since you're jamming out, what are your most hated enemies in video games?
Little spike head motherfuckers in Super Mario World. Those bitches suck. I don't like them. That's pretty much it. That what was it? God of War, the Medusas. Those were a pain in the ass. I used to hate coming across those.
Yeah, the actual Medusas. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, remember they started popping up everywhere.
Yeah, they did, man. Yeah, for sure.
The Gorgons are amazing.
The Gorgons, yeah.
Pain in the ass.
If you know how to use them, you can use them to like great effect.
Yeah, oh yes, that is also true.
Let me see, what else did I?
Someone never played the Trials of Olympus, you know, especially the ones in God of War 3, where you like get stoned like 10 times and survive. Like, you know, if you know how to play the game well. Yeah, you can do it.
Yeah, you can use them to your advantage for sure. You know. All right, Carlos, most hated enemies in video games.
What's it called? Oh, the flood, but in Halo 3.
Oh, in Halo 3 specifically.
Oh, That
Yeah,
I remember that part.
Yo, man, I'm like, okay, I beat the flood in every other fucking game, and it's like, oh, guess what's coming back? It's the flood, and they're all those motherfuckers just running at you and shit, and I'm like, fuck, not these motherfuckers again. They weren't necessarily hard; they're just annoying as hell, and they're coming back for like the third time. It's like fucking
There's so
Palpatine.
many.
It's been overdone. Yeah.
All right.
And you know the fucking Cuphead level with the lady in the dress and the right, and then there's like these little beans that are walking.
Yeah. Oh god.
Those fucking beans got in my fucking man. They got so annoying, man, because they're so little and you don't see them. Like you're paying attention to other stuff, and it's like, god damn it, ruin everything.
These motherfuckers.
Those motherfuckers.
Yeah. Chris, you got anything else besides the Medusa heads?
I was thinking about those hunters in Dying Light. When it turns nightfall, not the zombies, those motherfuckers that chase you at full speed.
Yeah,
and you got to get back to shelter and shit, and always be farming and shit. Yeah.
Fuck you.
Oh, dude.
Oh, damn, that was
did I steal your answer?
Excuse me?
You stole my answer. Yeah, I love you, buddy.
Sorry, man. That's all I could think about. I'm like, man, I hated those motherfuckers always looking over my shoulder and shit. Be like, whoop, I didn't listen to my watch. I got
Yeah, dude, no, they're the only enemy that's bad enough to actually make you run. Like, you're just like, I don't want to fight them. Nope, I'm going to run. In most games, you're just like, you're just going to Dark Souls up. I'm going to get good. In Dying Light, you're like, I ain't fucking with that guy. I ain't fucking with that guy so much, I'm just going to nope out of there at full fucking speed. Oh, shit, he's right behind me, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, at that point, you're like, don't look behind, bro. He's already, he's there. Just don't look. Just don't look.
There's a whole button dedicated to looking behind. There's no reason for it to be there. There is no tactical reason for you to look behind you while sprinting at full speed. But it's there, and it's a button, and you're gonna press it, and every time you press it, you just go, oh, holy shit!
By the way,
I
I've never
love the game because of that.
Yeah, I've never once pressed that button once. So,
Because Tony knows not to look down.
Yeah, it's like nope.
The rest of us have been like, I'm just gonna press Y. We're oh, holy god! And then you like let go, and you're like, oh shit! And you slam into a wall, and they get you. If you look back, they get you. Tony is smart, and he just goes, I can't resist pressing that button though, because it's there, and the developers knew that putting it in.
Those motherfuckers.
Did anybody else compulsively look behind them in that game, even though they knew it was a bad idea? Like, don't look behind
I
you.
did it. I'm like, oh shit, why did I do that? They're always behind you. Like, that button doesn't need to be there. It's like, that motherfucker's behind you.
Yeah, for me, it's enough to know they were there, and that's it. That's all I need to know, man. Ignorance is bliss.
Yeah, you should just assume that they're there and run like, oh, dude, I can't wait. We're gonna play some Dying Light, right? Like, we're gonna stream that shit.
Oh, so Dying Light 2? Hell yeah, man. We're already in that shit, man. Whenever the game comes out, that's gonna be another next gen game. Go ahead, Brian.
I just had like the funniest thought, like this, like caveman with fire. Like when they first like discover what fire is. Tony's like the one that's like, hey, fire looks like it's hot, so I'll just not do that. Whereas Brett's like, this fire thing seems hot, and every time I touch it, it is hot. But I'm gonna touch it again. I'm just the guy that like touched the fire once, and it's like, okay, cool, fire hot. I'm not gonna touch that any more times. Just leave the fuck alone. I was curious once, and that's it. Just no more time. So one night I was like, oh wow, he's like right behind me, like not like close by. I mean, like he's doing a Joe Biden on me.
Damn, coming from a bread spit. So yeah, went global.
Yo, that's funny, man. Oh god.
Solid respect.
Yeah. That was awesome. That was amazing. All right, man. Next question is from... Actually, do I have my camera on? Yes. Oh, this is a good one. Have you ever gotten major hand or wrist injuries from playing video games? Adam, I'm going straight to you, man, because you're always getting fucking injured.
Yeah, my fucking... See, look at my fucking thumb. What the hell is this shit? What is this shit?
Is that you think that's from games?
And I definitely know, because it's from just always moving my thumb in different positions around the controller. Makes you know the shit will swivel. It's fucking broken. It's like I have a broken thumb. But my wrist, of course, just from typing, that shit always hurts. But that's not gaming. But definitely
Tony's like, Yo, that's from gaming, man.
Throwdown, man.
Yo, if you could do any other tricks just with your thumb like this, more power to you.
Well, this. Yo, I'll stop
Make that
right
shit
now.
happen. Make it wiggle,
Let's
man.
just say,
Make it wiggle.
ladies love Adam.
You do the butterfly.
Yo, I don't even know how to explain it to the listener.
Don't worry, they don't need to. They don't need to know that shit. That's hidden tricks.
God. Yo, what have we been talking about anymore?
Joe Biden.
Joe Biden, creepy Uncle Joe. You know,
You don't have to worry about Pete Buttigieg. He backed out.
he back. By the way, did you see? There was a clip of Joe Biden. He was on Chris Wallace's show, right? And he called him Chuck. and then Chris was like, he's like, by the way, it's Chris. He's like, oh, did I was like, no, I met Chris. And then he was like, okay, yeah, it was Chuck, but it's been a long day. I'm like, bruh.
Then he should have been like, you know what? I like Chuck better for you.
But then again, Joe Biden, he's running for the Senate according to him, so can't blame the guy.
Oh,
Dude, that's when you just start throwing shade. You just be like, really? Because you seem more like of a Chuck to me.
Yeah, listen.
He go into an old man rant. I had a buddy named Chuck. Oh man, can he eat pizza? Oh, he loved his pizza.
Yo,
you look like a pizza man.
Did he meet Chuck at a pool, at a public pool? Yo, okay, let's stop right now before we start getting in trouble. What the fuck are we talking about? Oh yeah, hand injuries or wrist injuries from playing games. Brett, I'm going to you because you also seem like a very injury prone guy on this show.
Yeah, I'm not what I would call lucky in any way. Yeah, kind of. Like I've had wrist pains and things like that, like just repetitive motion injury disorders, but that's also due to the fact of what I do for a living. So it's one of those, like, tattooing and video games use a lot of the same ligaments and muscles. So eventually that shit starts to wear down, especially
Don't get the shakes. I
yeah.
had a barber who had the shakes. That was the worst.
Oh,
trying to get a haircut. And he
Yo,
And that's why it's important to exercise, but like exercising like the forearms and shit like that is good, but just doing this over and over again, for those of you that can't see, doing this, which is the stick motion, is very similar to doing this, which is your general drawing or painting motion. Use the hand mechanics up here. So you end up doing this with your thumb just all the goddamn time. And after a while, that can start to wear down. So there are times when like my hands will, and playing video games, I'll be like, man, that shit's cramping up. Not really. I'd say the closest I had was, does anybody remember their first week playing the Wii?
No, I didn't play
Like,
that
I was
bullshit.
convinced that my arm was going to fall off.
Oh, man.
Like, you put in, like, the first day you get it, like, dude, this is awesome. You put, like, 8 hours into it the next day, you're like, oh my god, my arm. I think I tore a rotator cuff or something. What the fuck? And I know it wasn't just me, because I talked to a bunch of buddies. I was like, anybody else fucking, like, sore as shit? Like,
Yeah, because you're using different muscles than you used to, man.
That's what I'm saying. And some of the motion control things on the Switch, like after you play arms, like I played arms for like 4 hours when I first got it. And the next day I was like, fuck, my arms fucking hurt, man. And like I really do got to watch out for that, because, my back has taught me, you can almost hurt yourself a few times and be like, yeah, don't be a bitch about it. And then one day something fucking catastrophic hits. And I've had that happen with my rotator cuff a few times, where my rotator cuff fucking hurts. And I don't man through that shit anymore, because something you will break. I have found out that manning through shit too much means that it just breaks, and then you're just like, okay, well, it's now never going to be the same again. So, yeah, man through shit in your 20s, not your 30s, man.
Yo, by the way, I'm just going to say this right now. I've never heard that expression before, but I know exactly what the fuck you just said. Like man through it. I never heard that before. I'm like, yep, that's been me. By the way, one thing I don't man through anymore, this is going to be embarrassing, but I'm just being honest right now. When I was in my 20s and shit, and I was out, I'm just being real right now, because, just being in a wheelchair and stuff, I can't use every bathroom. So I'm like, fuck it. I'm just going to hold it in. I will hold it in for like 12 hours, right? Nowadays, Brett, I look for fucking bathrooms. I don't fuck around anymore, man. Like, they got a bathroom and it's a wheelchair accessible, I'll use it. As a matter of fact, when I was in New Orleans, Carlos, I don't know if you knew this, that bar I kept going to that had a bathroom, it was a gay bar. But I'm like, they got an accessible bathroom, you know. But yeah, don't man through shit anymore, guys. Like when you hit a certain point, if you're in your 20s, go fucking nuts. You know, when you start hitting your early 30s, you may want to consider. When you hit your mid 30s, stop that shit. Stop.
Mike told you that. I was like, oh shit, the fuck.
I was like, really? And then I thought, I'm like, you know, those bartenders are pretty good looking. I guess it's a gay bar. Like that, it all makes sense. The thing is, there were girls there. I'm like, I don't fucking know. But yeah, I don't manning through shit. I don't do that anymore, man. Most of the time, I still do man through some things because I'm a man. This is why we don't live as long as women. We're fucking dumb, you know.
Yeah, no, it's not a good idea.
No, it's not. It's stupid.
It's just like, I'm just gonna push through this. Okay, now I'm just gonna go lay in the corner and die.
Yeah.
And that's it. I mean, it's kind of, you got to be wary because that's what we're biologically designed to do.
This is true. But again, at the same time, I'm not going to discourage guys in their 20s from stopping doing that because I want them to go through the pain and suffering so they know to stop it later. You know what I mean?
You know, dude, you can push yourself all through your 20s. Like the lesson nobody taught me is when you hit 30, like, man, fucking back that shit off a little bit. Like when you hear people say like, oh, I can't do that shit anymore. I'm not 20. It's because they've learned that lesson the hard way.
Remember when you were in your 20s and you heard that shit from an older man? You're like, fucking old man. What's he talking about, man? I could do that shit. He's a fucking pussy, you know?
You can still do that. Yeah. You can do that if you want. You just don't want to.
Yeah, you don't want to.
And then you get there.
Yeah, and then you get there. You're like, oh, shit, that old dude, he was right, man.
Here's the thing. Nobody fucking told me this. But every time, like, I fell and got injured as a kid, like, every skateboard injury, every time I just miraculously just, like, fucking wrecked my bike and was able just to, like, pop back up out of it. The car accidents that I've gotten in that I've somehow just, like, been miraculous. Like, oh, okay. I thought that was the blessing of youth. Like, you know, I'm kind of elastic. You know, I'm not indestructible, but, man, I can fucking take a beating. Nobody warned me that what really happens is all that pain just goes into a bank.
Yes.
And that accrues interest. And then when you hit like 34, it gives it all back to you randomly and in small bursts. Like you just wake up and you're like, holy shit, what happened? Why is my leg dead? And what really happens, that skateboarding accident 18 years ago that you miraculously walked off, it just somehow time traveled to today.
Yeah, it's like a fucking like timer on a bomb. That shit's gonna go off eventually, you know?
Yeah, and nobody told me like you just keep on racking that shit up. Like you just keep on abusing the shit out of yourself. That's fine. That bill's gonna come due. Nobody told me that bill was coming due. Yeah. I thought if I woke up the next day and I was fine, it was okay.
Yeah, yeah, but man, somebody should have told me that shit too, bro. Fuck. All right, I think we have one more question. Yes, we do. No, we're still on this way. I didn't answer this shit. What the fuck is my answer? I didn't injure myself playing games specifically with my hands. I think just because of the fact that I wheel myself around all the time, my hands are pretty fucking hard and shit. But I will say this, every time I play a racing, because I don't play racing games very often, right? So when I do play a racing game, like the first day, I have to stop playing the next day because you're always holding R2, the accelerator. My hand, like specifically my index finger, gets fucked up holding that shit down. It's because again,
switch it, man. Switch it. A lot of people.
Oh no, Adam. I use my index and then I use my middle one, right, back and forth. But after like a day, after I guess it's like the ligaments right here and shit. After they adjust, then it's not a problem. But racing games always fuck me up. Like when I first go back into them. Obviously, this happened back in the day when you just hold X and shit to accelerate. But nowadays, ever since they switch over to R2. Like I think Burnout Paradise was the first one. I was like, what the fuck? But that was painful.
You go into the control settings now. You could freaking Mario Kart that shit. You can just put them on the face buttons because a lot of people. You're not the only one. A lot of people just get that issue where their finger starts cramping up.
Yeah.
Because you have to hold it at a certain because you can't hold it down because then you're going full gas. So you have to keep pressing and moving it, and it's in the awkward motion for long periods of time.
Yeah.
And it starts hurting. So then they were like, no, you can go and just switch it to Mario Kart style with Facebook, which is why Nintendo did that shit.
That's
for the
right.
newer ones, they left it that way.
But the ironic thing is now I can't play racing games like that anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like X feels weird. You know?
Well, because it's just on and off. Like at least with the they kind of sold us on the whole move to R2. It's going to be a sensitive. Just a little bit to get a little bit of gas, press it all the way down to go full throttle. And sometimes they delivered on that. I've noticed some games get a little. They're like, I don't know. There's a medium, a low, and a fast speed. Like it's not directly tied to it. But it is kind of, then you go back to X where you're just like, I don't know, it's just pedal all the way down or pedal not down at all.
Yeah.
It feels weird, man.
No, it really does. Like, I can't go back to X. But shout out to the podcast, by the way. All right. Brian, any injuries sustained while gaming?
Not really. Like those, like the occasional time when like I died in Bloodborne and I punched the ball, but
Oh shit!
you know those like weird deaths where somehow he just does like that one attack and then it just gets you. It's like,
yeah, man.
how do you do that? Like, what the fuck? So yeah, nothing. But apart from that, nothing really. Again, I'm in Brett's like age range where I'm below 30, so hence I can still just power through it. So ask that question in 5 years, and then we'll see.
Yeah, Carlos, injuries.
No.
Okay, no.
I don't think so. I'm just trying to think. Is any type of injury like? No, I don't think so.
Okay, you got
Was it
lucky.
the podcast?
Then. Yeah, podcast, man.
Yeah, sorry, that was
yeah.
the podcast.
Chris.
Yeah, no hand injuries like playing. I remember one annoying thing though was when I got the first 3DS. My hands used to cramp up holding it, and I had to get the backing, you know, with the big handles to be able to play it. I could play that thing for only 15-20 minutes at a time. My hands would cramp up.
Yeah,
But that wasn't really injury. That was
yeah,
annoying. I got the grips to get around it.
Because I got that same thing with the Vita. My hands would cramp after a while.
Yeah, see, I didn't have a problem with the Vita. With the 3DS, I couldn't do it.
Oh god, the Vita got me bad.
Oh,
Vita, baby.
Cramping. Vita, baby. Vita, like I acclimated to it, but that's another one. Like at first, it was kind of like, whoa, you know. 3DS is another one. It's like your hands would cramp after a while.
And the Switch is.
Well, I don't even bother with that fucking Joy-Cons. Fuck that shit. You know.
Yeah, I don't use the Joy-Cons.
Fuck that shit. Pro controller.
AP do for life.
AP, right? You know.
AP do for life. Even though they duck me, I don't give a shit. I love their controllers.
That's it, man. Adam, ixnay on that. Say that type of stuff, man. All right. What the fuck? All right. The last question is from Do the Third, who has been with us the entire night. I believe he's still there. What's going on, Sketch, brother? How you doing, man? Yo, Sketch. They got new Monster Hunter shit coming in a couple weeks, man. You already know. You already know. That goes for Chris and Carlos as well, man. All right, so Do the Third asks us, Throwdown Crew, what was your most disappointing game of this generation?
Oh, dude, damn, that's a
That's a loaded potato.
Damn, son. And of course, I want you guys in the chat to answer this one too. The most disappointing game that you played this generation. Holy fucking shit! How do you even answer this?
No.
Oh wait, no, we do have answers.
It's super obvious.
Didn't we already talk about it earlier this episode, man?
Wait, no.
I think we did.
I think
Brian, come on. Brian just said it.
Brian was saying some bullshit like Last of Us or Uncharted.
No.
Wasn't biased.
No. Brian said it this earlier this episode. The game that
he's talking about Watch
Dogs.
That's not this gen.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was. Yes.
Yeah.
That came out right at the beginning of the not at launch, but it came out right at the beginning of the gen, bro.
Excuse me.
You know what? I'm sorry. That's my answer.
Wait, let me look this up. Yeah. I'm gonna verify this shit.
Dude, it came out 2014. I know because I reviewed it for Dual Shockers. I was on the site in 2014.
Uh-oh.
You know?
Dude, yeah, it was.
Yeah. Brian, I'm sorry if I stole your answer. Watch Dogs.
Because it came out for the PlayStation, the PS3, and the.
And I'm gonna say this.
I know it came out for that.
No, it did, but it also came out for the PS4. You know?
I mean, it's one of those cross-gen games that, god damn it, man.
It still counts as a current-gen game, you know?
It's still not my answer, even though...
All right, fair enough.
If it's cross-gen, I don't accept that answer.
Hold on, Brett, but don't you consider Watch Dogs a game that was touted as a current-gen game? That was like the spotlight game.
I got an easy one.
They were trying to tell you it was the leap to a new generation.
Yes.
But technically speaking, you and I know... if it was out for both consoles, it was made for the previous one and just, overclocked for the new
Okay.
All the transition games were like
So before actually it's good that we brought this up. So you guys want to just make that a caveat? No cross-gen games. They can only be current gen purely. You want to just make that a caveat for this question?
I mean, I don't want to be a stickler for that kind of semantics, but
I don't
if you guys
mind.
want to do it, I'll do
Yeah.
it.
It sounds fair to me.
Fair, yeah, because we're all on the same playing field. All right. I'm pretty sure I have other ones that are more disappointing. Killzone. I got one. Killzone Shadowfall.
Okay.
Actually, no. Killzone Shadowfall. That game looked fucking incredible, right? And even played good. But the game was just boring. It was a boring fucking game. And that was another one. Like, when you saw that shit during the PlayStation 4 reveal, you're like, yo, this looks crazy. And it did. The game looked remember Killzone 2 came out? You saw the CE trailer and shit. You're like, what the fuck is this? And then the actual game came out, and you're like, it doesn't look as good as that. Although some people will argue that, by the way. But with Killzone Shadowfall, the actual game looked as dope as that fucking reveal. Then you play this shit. Fucking boring. And by the way, this is how disappointed I was with that game. And this was back when I bought games physically. I had a policy. I don't sell games back. I keep the games I buy. I resold that fucking shit. I literally said, I don't want this in my house. I didn't get rid of it because I didn't get rid of it because I'm like, oh, I didn't like this game. It's like, literally, I don't want it stinking up my fucking home. So I got rid of it. So fuck that game.
I mean, yeah, it was a letdown, but my expectations weren't probably as high as maybe most people were for Killzone Shadowfall. So I have to bring it down to the ultimate disappointment. And I want to do some what do you call it? Honorable mentions. No Man's Sky is definitely one of them.
Oh shit.
What's it called?
Mine is Broke Point, man.
Oh, Broke Point.
Yo, man, whoa. Don't go taking other people's answers.
No, you didn't play. You didn't play.
Wait.
Yeah, actually, you know what?
So,
Carlos, save the honorable mentions for later because we don't want to.
Okay, I'll get to my answer then.
Brett had his answer stolen like 3 times tonight, man. Let's not do this to this man anymore.
Well, I mean, Brett's not gonna say Anthem or Fallout 76 or.
Son of a bitch!
Anyway, so I'll just give my answer.
Fuck you.
My answer is, hey, come on, guys. Let's just be honest. This is the real answer. It's Mass Effect. Yo, man, how can you take the greatest fucking franchise, in my opinion?
Yeah. That's a really good answer.
Yo, Carlos, it was like I literally felt my gut being kicked in right now.
Yo, man.
Because Killzone Shadowfall disappointed me as a PS4 game that I bought on launch day, right? Mass Effect Andromeda hurt my soul.
It made you lose confidence on the studio end and the franchise.
Oh, that's. I'm sorry, I'm changing my answer. Yeah. You hear the pain. The pain in my voice, man.
Why do you think I hate this generation so much?
Because
it messes with my favorite franchise.
I think that's my answer. Mass Effect Andromeda. And the thing is, I played the whole game through, Oh, God.
Yeah.
Anyway, yep, Anthem was fucking disappointing too, but I was already prepared to be disappointed after that initial trailer.
I mean, come on, like the first 8 hours of Anthem, I thought were fucking great. Like I got to fly around as Iron Man and throw fireballs. Like
that mechanic was cool.
The flying mechanic was cool. It was something that wasn't done, and the fact that they just went like, this game, meh, kind of sucks. Instead of like actually putting the love that the first division did. Like, I thought that game could have been saved. If you could save the first division, you could have saved Anthem.
Yeah. By the way, they are going to save Anthem. They're redoing it. They're a la Forgotten. What is it? What's the name of that fucking shit? The Final Fantasy game? I'm forgetting. You know what I'm talking about.
No, not Crisis Core.
Final Fantasy 14. Realm Reborn.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Well,
they're gonna Realm Reborn it.
Yeah, still, like, I think the nature of this question, part of the important part is like, not which game did you dislike the most. What was the biggest disappointment?
Yes, disappointment.
Part of being disappointed is having high expectations.
Yes, exactly.
Brett, Anthem is your answer?
It was tied for my answer.
Whoa!
Excuse me?
Wait,
Because a lot of times I know whether I'm gonna like a game or not, and I tend to like that game whether or not everybody else does. That's why I'm like Sea of Thieves, yeah. the ones that my answers are pretty much the ones that gave me the big fucking switcheroo. Like I was like, I'm gonna love this game. Blam! That was not.
Hold on. Let me prepare, Brett, because I think I know what you're about to say, and I can't believe you're going to say this. If what I think you're going to say, you're going to say. Hold on, let me just sit. You're not going to say.
I know what the answer is.
Carlos. Hold on. Hold on. No.
All right, let's get ready for this.
Yo. Hold on. Even I got to sit down for this one. All right, hit me.
Go ahead and say it for me.
No. I need you to say it.
Yo, Brett. Yeah.
Throw out people. This is gonna get serious right now because Brett hyped the shit out of this game. He defended it. Oh my god. Go.
Red Dead Redemption.
Oh, disappointed me, Brett. I'm disappointed in you.
I'm not saying, dude. I still genuinely enjoy Fallout 70.
I wanted you to say Fallout 76.
No.
That would have been such a good plot twist.
Red Dead Redemption is my personal one because I really expected to like that game, but I didn't. And I'm kind of leading with that because I'm not saying that's my true answer because I can't say I'm disappointed. I'm sad. I'm personally disappointed that I don't enjoy the game, but I'm not disappointed in the game. Does that make sense?
Yes.
It's a good game.
No, I know what you're saying, Brett.
The online
it's
data
the online, yes. It's the online that fucked it up for you,
but my biggest disappointment of this generation that still pisses me the fuck off was The Order.
Ooh.
Excuse me?
They were promising me a Tesla steampunk werewolf hunting game set in like foggy London. Like, dude, this is going to be made of awesome. And they gave me a 4-hour fucking tech demo that they never followed up on.
Oh shit!
That if you don't call that the old Kansas City Shuffle, fuck you do.
Hey man, those 4 hours are pretty good though.
Here's the thing. I need to jump in, Brett. I liked The Order, but I feel everything you're saying. Every single thing. Because the game could have been so much more, man. Come on. You have Tesla's fucking lab, and you don't do anything with it, man. What do you have? You have a repeated boss battle that you had 2 hours before that. You know? Oh, my God. So I both like the game, but I'm also disappointed in it, too, because they could have done so much more.
But remember, we were all so hyped for this game, too. Like that, and that's the critical component of like, man, we're talking about disappointment. That game took me from up here to way the fuck down here. Oh, like I was riding on high for that game. We all were. It was the launch of a new generation. It was this. Okay,
Brian wasn't.
You guys keep saying like the word "we" as if I'm involved.
Brian's like, keep me out of this shit.
Brian doesn't really get excited about anything. He's British.
I do.
No, he gets excited about shit.
He gets excited for CD Projekt Red.
Exactly. No, okay, that's true.
And Need for Speed.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right. Yeah, Brian, go ahead. What's your biggest disappointment of this generation?
Go ahead, just say it, Brian.
It's actually not The Last of Us. Again, I was not disappointed in it.
Oh no, that doesn't count. I was gonna say Uncharted 4.
No, he actually has to be looking forward to it to be disappointed. Exactly. You know.
I think okay. With Uncharted 4, it was one case of I didn't want there to be another one because I feel like the series should have ended on PS3. That way, on PS4, whole new clean slate, whole new like Naughty Dog type games. So, but I understood why they made it, just to interest people in the PS4 and say, hey, we have games on PS4. Please come over to PS4 and play them. So again, I understood why it exists. So I'm not disappointed in it. Last of Us, not disappointed. Again, it had its moments. I'm not gonna lie, but I just don't think it's rated as high as some people do, and that's it. Most disappointing game of this generation. I don't know. It's hard. Just thinking of like what Watch Dogs was meant to be and what Watch Dogs came out to be. That's kind of like the default. Like I can't think of anything else that I was that excited for that let me down.
Was Assassin's Creed Unity this gen?
Yes.
Ooh.
Again, I never enjoyed the games anyway. Again, I've only played Assassin's Creed 3, which, as everyone says, is like the worst one. So hence, I don't even speak on that. So, again, just Watch Dogs by default. I can't think of anything else that's as disappointing. Like everything else was either just all right or slightly below, but Watch Dogs again. I really wanted Watch Dogs to be good on so many fronts. Like not only on the graphical front, but the gameplay front and also the story front. Like when I was playing through it, I'm like, oh, cool. Like they're going to bring up the idea of human trafficking. Like how many games talk about human trafficking? Like pretty much none of them. So it's like, okay, cool.
The Last of Us is pretty much a human trafficking story.
That's more like a character story, like between him and his like long lost daughter that he's
Wrong.
connected
Ellie's being trafficked around the area because they don't want her to find her.
It's not human trafficking. It's not against her will like that. It's for the greater good. Whereas, I mean, like human trafficking, as in like, yeah, sex slaves. Like, I wanted them to talk about these things, which still happen in the real world, but no one talks about it. Hence, I was so excited. I'm like, oh, cool, like, cool. They've stolen his sister. Chances are she's being sex trafficked. You know, they're going to raise some social commentary on that, or at least raise some commentary on the fact that the world is just surveillance state 101. You know, everything you do is under watch. You know, they make a comment about that and liberties and stuff like that. But no, it just turned out to be like, we have nothing to go on. Let's just stop there. It's like, really? Like, come on. Like, you guys had great material, great ideas. No one's really touched these ideas before, and then just waste them. So, yeah, I say Watch Dogs for many reasons.
I do want to add this, just a personal note about Watch Dogs. I didn't dislike the game as much as other people. I thought it was a competent open world game, but that's the problem. It should have been more. You know what I'm saying? Like when I actually played it away from like, the hype or whatever, when I got into it, I'm like, you know what? I'm enjoying myself, going around Chicago, hacking shit. That was kind of cool. I liked the spider robot mini game. That was fun. The game wasn't bad, but the problem is I feel the game would have been better off if that hype wasn't attached to it. You know what I'm saying? Because the game was not horrible. It's just didn't live up what it was supposed to. But Watch Dogs 2, excellent fucking game. That's a fantastic. I even got the platinum in that shit. Love Watch Dogs 2.
You only like it because of the Dominican guy. Come on, man.
In Watch Dogs 2?
That wasn't no, he wasn't Dominican. You're thinking of Mafia 3.
Wait, wasn't Watch Dogs 2? Wasn't he?
No, he's black.
No.
He was just black.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I thought he was Dominican.
No. You're thinking about Mafia 3. Yeah, I never played.
That was my other letdown because Mafia 2 was awesome, and Mafia 3 came and it was just a fucking mess.
Carlos like me, don't see color.
Nah, Watch Dogs 2 was fucking dope.
Can I give another honorable mention? Which really, honestly, this game, I mean, it rivals Mass Effect in a way, for me at least, and that's the fucking Master Chief Collection. God damn, that shit was fucking amazing.
The multiplayer was broken,
janky, bro.
I couldn't fucking. I fucking took a week off from work to play that shit, and I couldn't play it.
Coming to think about it, I think Tony's right. Like, I think I can put Fallout 76.
Disappointing for you, Brett. Excuse me.
What?
Hold on, whoa. Stop the presses. Brett just said he's disappointed in Fallout 76.
Yeah, no. In the vein of the question, like here's the deal, guys. Like, I still like the game. I still enjoy the game. I'm disappointed with the way that it launched because, man, it stumbled right out of the gate and lost player base, and that genuinely does disappoint me. It doesn't matter how much I still enjoy the game or if I still think it's fun. That was disappointing. I was hoping it was going to be a big old Fallout party, and that party never happened.
Yo, Sketch just fucked me up right now, man.
What do you do?
Chris, Shenmue 3.
Oh.
Yo, yeah. You want to talk about disappointments?
Well, I'm surprised you didn't list Mighty Number 9 as an honorable mention.
Oh, that's another one. I paid for that shit.
Yeah, so did I.
Oh.
So that to me, because I gave money to that shit.
Is it depressing?
This segment is giving me a fucking ulcer, man. Shit. Yo, Mighty Number 9. That game single-handedly prevented me from fucking crowdfunding any game ever again. After that, I'm like, nope, I'm not doing this shit again. I was so disappointed. That was supposed to be the Mega Man revival, and ironically enough, Capcom brought Mega Man back because of fucking Mighty Number 9's failure. They were like, oh shit, we could do better than that. And Mega Man 11, fucking awesome, beautiful.
Yeah, I do, and I do got to throw in there like Ark and Space Engineers. Both y'all could have been so much more what you ended up at.
Yeah. Hey, there's still hope for those games, isn't there? Because by the way,
No, fuck them. They're done.
Ark, I don't think there's no.
Ark has tarnished its name, and Space Engineers went dark.
Damn. By the way, Brett says out of love because nobody loved Ark like Brett did.
Right?
Oh God.
And that's the thing. Like I think this list is, before y'all pull out your gotcha moments, like I think this list actually is going to have a lot of things that you love because you may love them, but they didn't achieve the potential. Or nobody else saw. What was another one? That fucking fighting game where you could build your own fighting style. God damn it!
Absolver. That's your game.
Absolver, yeah. Absolver was.
Hey, we just quit on tonight.
Whoa.
Dude, like I love that
UFC 3.
It was awesome. It never caught traction. The player base was never there, and because of that, it never got the additional content it needed. It was a AA game. It released very bare bones, and it needed a player base, and it needed attention in order to continue to thrive. And it just got lost in the muddle, and it didn't get that. And because I don't think we're ever going to see Absolver 2. We never saw a healthy player base for Absolver, the same way I never saw a healthy player base for Fallout. Like, there's a lot of, or fucking Sea of Thieves for that matter. There's a lot of games that I thought were really fun, that had a lot of potential, that stumbled or weren't noticed, or did something wrong, or mismanaged what they said they were going to be, or for one reason or another didn't complete, maybe didn't, like even like No Man's could have been a great game, didn't release that way, could have turned into a great game, but even then it was too late for that kind of game. So there's a lot of things in this list that I actually love because I think they're there because I love them, and they never succeeded, they never took off, and they're so reliant on other players that pretty much leaves them dead.
Yeah, but I think in that case, it's not really you being disappointed in the actual content of the game. It's like you're disappointed that they didn't, get the following that you feel they deserved.
Yeah, well, I'm just disappointed in the game in general.
Yeah, all right.
Like the reception, because we're talking about my experience.
Yeah,
and,
sure.
My experience has a lot to do with the player base.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough. I'm pretty sure there's a bunch of other games because I remember it wasn't until 2017, pretty much around where I was just like, oh shit, they're finally releasing games that don't disappoint me in one way or another, because that was kind of the running theme of this generation. And I'm talking about games I love, like Metal Gear Solid 5. I loved that game. I got the platinum in it. That last half of that game was fucking disappointing.
Okay,
yeah.
Is Street Fighter on this list for you?
Yo, yes, it fucking is. Yes, it is.
Yeah,
Street Fighter 5 is definitely, that's most definitely in there. Half of this generation was a fucking disappointment for me, man. This shitty
this
generation.
Segment can't be long enough for this list, which is funny because if you actually were like, name your favorite game of this generation, this segment would have been over a long time ago.
Yeah, right. Shit.
And by the way, I mean, maybe it's just me, but those Destiny games are definitely disappointments for me.
Looter shooters, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Yo, we could go on forever with this shit. Fucking now the battle royale bullshit.
The Division.
But I can't say I'm disappointed. I can't say I'm disappointed in Battle Royale because I didn't care about them to begin with. You know what? I will throw the Division 2 in there for now until they release it, because Division 2 was fucking amazing out the gate. Me and Adam and Chris play that shit all day, every day. And then they fucked it up with the patches.
Man, I play some of that too.
Yeah, a little bit. Well, you were too busy being in Korea, but but I think you're right. Probably best to cut this off because we could just go on for another hour talk about disappointing games. We could make a whole segment alone, the whole show on disappointing games of this generation. And you know what? Fuck it. Put a pin on it, Brett. Put a pin on it. We're gonna do that when this generation's over.
Can we do a reverse show?
A what show?
A reverse award show?
Yes.
We should actually.
Yeah. You know what? When this generation is over, which is kind of this year.
Oh, yeah, we hopefully.
Well, shit. Right? Who knows? But for you audience guys, remind us, please. We're gonna do that. We're gonna talk about the best games and the most disappointing games. I'm pretty sure most disappointing games episodes will be longer than the most, games you liked.
Best games, 20 minutes. Worst games, like 3.5 hours.
By the way, this is how crazy my mind works. Is it means bad, right? I was gonna say we're gonna do our disappointing games and I was about to say our appointed games. Like that's not a word, Tony. Oh God, you could call it the shit list. If this was Throwdown to 5 years ago, we would have, but we can't do that anymore, man. We gotta watch it for the kids, man. All right. Anyway, we're. Oh, by the way, you know what I haven't done in a while? The Throwdown graphic here. What the fuck is this shit? The questions thing.
You might name it with the graphics.
Yeah, here we go. All right. So, how to submit your questions? Step 1, join our Discord server. And on Discord, you go to the Throwdown Your Questions section. And step 3, you submit your questions and limit them to 2 gaming questions. Although, I'm going to say this now. And Carlos, I hope you're here in 2 weeks, bro. We're going to hit episode 275 of both shows. For Throwdown 275. Finally, we're going to start doing that big giveaway I was telling you about. And for episode 275 of Throwdown Your Questions, AMA, baby.
Excuse me?
So get ready for that, man. You know how we do it. Every 25 episodes, we hit you with something, man. Like comics. All right, so yeah, we're done here, people. So thank you for watching and listening. Leave us your questions in the Throwdown Discord server, and we'll answer them on next week's show. Subscribe to Throwdown on SoundCloud, iTunes, and YouTube. Follow us on Twitch, Twitter, and Facebook at Throwdown Show. Links are located in the description below. Once again, our show is Tony Polanco, and tonight I'm joined by Chris Seeley.
Hey, take care, everyone.
Carlos Romero.
Yo, man, make sure to catch my booth on C2E2.
Oh, man. Adam Vale.
Have a good week, everybody.
Brett Murdoch.
Deuces.
And Brian Manjoma.
Have fun, people.
All right, guys. We'll see you on Thursday, man. Peace out.
Deuces.
Peace.